Well, and welcome to eFIXX TV on tonight's theme of smart home. We're actually going to look at an electrician who's transitioned into smart home. We've got some great kit from Sonos here we're going to look at as well. But we've noticed when it comes to smart home, a little bit like solar. When we're doing solar, Gary, it rains.
It does, yeah. It's always raining when you're trying to do solar. There's definitely no sun around, is there?
Yeah, if we're doing something in a loft, it would be red hot.
The hottest day of the year, no doubt, yes.
And we found a few years ago when it comes to smart home, we reviewed a smart thermostat. And it was so cold in this unit that the frost protection kicked in and the central heating pump kicked off. We couldn't shut it off, it was that cold.
It was, yes.
So that's a theme. So it's freezing cold outside. We've hopefully put enough heat inside this building to keep us going for at least an hour and a half. But if you see us starting to turn blue, it probably means we've gone on too long, Gary.
We never go on too long. And thank you ever so much for everyone who's joined us live on Facebook as well as live on YouTube. And it's your thoughts and comments that help drive this stream and streams in the future. So make sure you get your comments in. This is not just necessarily all about smart. It's about transitioning an electrical business and leveling it up so you can earn the most amount of money and maximise what the modern customer actually wants. Get those in and you might find yourself appearing at the end of the show inside of the register, and those other comments will actually drive us forward for other live streams. But we couldn't bring it to you fortnightly without the great help of the following three companies. We'd like to thank BG Lasico, which is under the Lasico group, which also has got Lasico lighting in there, Gordon, has it? It's got BG's Sync EV. It's a massive group of people under that Lasico group, and they're our headline sponsors, and we thank them for that. We've also got the consumer unit that's taken a million bashings. I've actually changed it now to black. Maybe we'll get to change ours. We've got Luden Palazzoli, and we've also got our wonderful friends down in Doncaster, where we've got obviously Doncaster Cables. It brings us things such as PV and EV Ultra, helping support these fortnightly streams.
Well, two things linked there, Gary. Obviously PV Ultra, we're thinking back to your solar days, and hopefully we obviously transitioned you to the modern world of energy and solar a few months ago, and to be fair, you've never shut up about it since.
No.
And think that I caught up with Luden down at the EV show in London. We'll come back to later in the show what I found down there. But also Darren at Luden has also got solar as well. And obviously there is a common trait I've noticed with anyone who gets solar is they like to bore the pants off anybody with it. So I now know all about Darren's energy tariff, the fact he tells the kids that can't use more than 4 kilowatts of power on peak demand. So he's restructured their lives based upon battery capacity. Like yourself.
I like Darren a lot before. I love him even more now because he's totally on my wavelength. However, some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight, maybe like some of the people watching this, might not necessarily be in their wheelhouse. So I think I'm going to go on a bit of a journey today as well as we look at levelling up into this world of smart. Now, we're not talking maybe necessarily that full £10 million smart home systems. We're actually looking to step our foot into it and see how we can increase maybe the revenue of our business, not just fitting solar, which I've got, by the way. Just can't show you my app.
And we have got some fantastic guests. Can we see them in the green room?
Ooh,
in the Greencable room. There we go. Look at that. They're ready there. Look at that first. There we go. That's it. Well, I think we'd best bring them in, Gary.
What do you reckon? Shall we give them a round of applause?
Yes.
Who we got?
It is our pleasure to introduce Louise Tarling, John Vauxhall, Lauren Bailey, who's on the sound desk we'll come back to later, and Stephen Rhead from Sonos. Come in, move, move.
Well, look at this.
Enthusiasm
there. They just sprung into action, didn't they? It was like, yes. In you come, Louise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, okay. Emergency chair. Chair. Just to give everyone a little bit, we're going to have it in a minute, but this has got a whiff of husband and wife about it, so it's actually going to be quite an interesting race war. But before we get that, let's have 60 seconds about yourself, Louise. If we start with you first being the owner of the business, so obviously then we'll talk to one of your employees a bit later on. So tell us in 60 seconds, give us a bit of an overview of yourself, and then we'll obviously move on to other people within your firm.
Well, I'm Louise. I started Louise Tarling now Limited back in 2015. I did my electrical qualifications when I was in the Territorial Army many moons ago. And when I met John, he was refurbishing houses, so got involved with that and needed to bring my qualifications up to regulations to get my domestic installer status. So went back to college and did my qualifications. So that's pretty much me.
When you say redid your qualifications, you did things like the 2391, the 18th edition, that
18th edition,
just bristled up on those.
Yep.
And obviously there's a business there to delve into it. Okay, but before we get to the old man, we'll make him last. He's sitting on the emergency chair. It's going to be a theme tonight, John, I'm afraid, for you.
Yeah.
Stephen, would you like to tell us all about yourself in 60 seconds?
So I'm Stephen Rhead. I'm the Sonos Professionals Manager for UK and Ireland. I look after everything to do with installation of our products, and I've been with Sonos now for 14 years.
Okay. Right, you can't talk bad of your employer, but we're interested in your background then, John.
Never would. I'm John. I am Louise's husband.
Wow, hang on, let's stop there. So you've got that straight out of the bat. I love it. That's your highlight of yours. Like, your 60 seconds talking about yourself. You've got I'm married to Louise. That's a highlight. That is. I like it. Yeah.
Safe.
Now you've got another 59 seconds about
55
yourself.
seconds. Yeah, I don't quite know how to fill it really. What do I do? Carry your bags, drive the van.
And a lot more.
It's not that kind of show. Okay. Perhaps edit that one out. Okay, so we told you Louise not to mention things like that. All right, we'll get back to benefits of working for Louise, okay, and whether there is any benefits as we move through the show. Gordon, where do you want to start us off with?
Well, obviously we have to find out if our guests actually are any good on the tools. And Stephen already opted out long before this, so he might have to go. He's a bit worried that he might bring David Kitchener.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So we've had to, he's taken a side on it. It's a husband versus wife challenge tonight, which also means, and people are already on it already, people already guessed, they know the drill at this stage. Sure, bring in the timer. You've got 60 seconds to get a timer. Who do you think, you've got the name of the person who you think is fastest and the time that they completed the challenge in. So if you think John was fastest, you put John and 7 minutes 22. If you think Louise was fastest, you put Louise 2 minutes and 22. And that's it. And there's already some times coming in. And obviously nobody really wants to be in the time above 4 minutes because that would just be outrageous, Gary.
Outrageous. Anyone that's longer than 4 minutes is absolutely outrageous. Now, what isn't outrageous is that obviously the person that does get the correct time will have the phone number of the burner phone dropped into their messages.
Yes.
Okay, and they'll get a chance to ring Jenny, and Jenny will take off their details in order that we start the posting process, and it's
Straight away.
Yeah, straight away. So there'll be no delay.
Already know that.
Okay,
We've picked up the post, we've rebooted the post over the past few weeks, and I think Joe's caught up on it.
Yeah, Joe Robinson spent a day and a half catching up on it. If you've had anything from the news for getting the words correct, please put it in the comments again. Remember, if you put something in the comments, there's a chance you'll end up in the register at the end of the show.
Yeah, and it looks, it's level pegging. People can't decide who's going to be fastest on this year.
Rough idea of times? What are we going for?
People all think it's all sub 4 minutes. Yeah, got a few people in the 3 minutes.
I like it.
Yeah, some return visitors we haven't seen for a while. We've got Dr. Electric in the house.
Oh, right, okay.
Been for a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen him for a while.
And Darren Cranis back in.
He's back.
There's loads of people.
Darren's got to protect his position now up there, hasn't he? He's done really well when he came in. Well, I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it. So let's see who's going to be fastest in this marital relationship. Go then, G-Doc. So who's going to be up first? Junior said he's done a fiddle. Oh, look at this. Wow, it's a double start. So, different attempt then. One went for cables, one went for the sockets. Okay, yeah.
Louise has got the right idea there.
Yeah, absolutely. Get the front off the socket.
First.
Yeah, I like it.
John's going to come to a grinding halt.
There
it goes. I'll put the cable down and then.
But if only he was working with Louise, she'd have already had the front off for him, maybe. Yeah. So here we go. So we're in for the socket fronts are coming off.
Standing on the job most of the time. People do say you shouldn't kneel on the job, but trying to fit a socket at that height, still standing up.
Bit different on that. The curl over and tape up.
Right, we go.
Didn't straighten it though, John. Didn't straighten it. Remember the tip? Here he comes. Yeah, eventually. Disaster. Louise has got the new drum syndrome going on here. Oh, dear me. Back in again then, John. Second attempt. Like it. A little bit of talking now, Louise. Come on, Louise. Did you straighten it up, Louise? Here we go. No.
Right,
how do you get those cables up to the TVs even when you put the conduits in them? Is it eventually trying to get a... Hey! Oh! No.
Right, we're in.
Well, at last. Okay.
John's
anyone who hasn't...
to go with tape now.
Oh, this is... Wow. John.
I'm starting to think this is
not good. This is round the Seco bend. Louise is now finally into the consumer unit. So brilliant. Okay. Are we in? Yes, we're in.
We're in.
At last. Okay. Oh, John's
On the reels now.
Oh, look at them Doncaster cables. I'm loving it. Yeah. Wow. Did anyone mention it was a race, John? Okay, Louise is in. She's in,
Right,
and
here
you're
we go.
eventually
John's
coming around the
getting
Seco Bend, and I'm sure this will whip into the Luden consumer unit with effortless ease. There we go. Just about long enough.
Right.
Fine.
Meanwhile, while you're doing that, Louise is on stripping the conductors away there.
You do that
With your
with
side cutters?
they're your own side cutters?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. They've got a little groove in them, have they?
Fix ones.
second
Oh,
fix
right,
ones, yeah.
okay. Was that first fix ones got like blown ends, are they, where you take the live cables out? Are you?
No, they're now the second fix ones
yeah,
going. They start out with life in first fix, and then transition over when you take the jaws off.
Right, here we
Love
go.
the concentration phase.
Concentration phase there, isn't it?
Oh, we're going for it. We're going for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've got a full Ramo.
Full Ramo, full Ramo, loving it. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, always encouraged to use the stool.
Now, John, I must give you, you're the first one to ever whistle when they're doing the challenge. Was that a trait at work? Are you normally the whistler?
Happy in my work.
Happy in your work? Yeah,
Showing off the wristband there. On
Sure, the words were right, but the tune was wrong.
Look at this. So who's this? This is John. So, so if they're and there's a fall, there's a stumble fumble.
Oh, we're going in reverse now.
Do you want to get some more back?
Louise down at the socket.
Fly lead. Well, I
Yeah,
like
fly
it.
lead.
Yeah, went for a fly lead. That's good. There's several different ways to. I do like stretching it out and doing the one method, but we've gone for the fly lead. Right. John's probably going to try some random third method. Probably attach the one to the drum and forget to put it on. So here we go. So we're just these few connections away from completion. Yeah. So do you drop anything else, John? There we go. So protective conductor in the back of the box, and both of you just got those four
Pink
connections.
tape on that. I didn't realise you could get pink insulation.
Yeah, okay. So
Very expensive, Gordon.
Is it?
is it really? What? Oh right. Okay.
Brand.
On brand. We like
yeah.
that
I
on
like it.
brand.
Yeah.
Chuckling away at yourself there.
Yeah. Everyone's laughing at you now, John. You were on your own then, weren't you? So that's good. So remember, we will pick the fastest time of your 3 times. This might not be your fastest one, John. I would imagine you might have had a slightly better run at some point. So I do like the clothing as well. Love this shoulder there with the old social medias on it.
Plenty of brand, and that's what we like to see.
John's not moving quick enough to get hot, so he kept his coat on. So you can see Louise is the faster mover of the two, so it's all good. So you put pink tape on your screwdrivers as well. Is that so? You've both got pink tape on them. I was one a pink tape to identify the screwdrivers and pliers. Is that the idea?
Just to identify the screwdrivers and pliers.
Okay, so
Where's those
one's gonna
screws?
run off.
remember, because you worked for Louise, actually they're all her screwdrivers and pliers. You're identifying your set that she owns. I think you'll find. I suppose then if you lose them, you can tell her which one you've lost.
Right,
So
here we go.
okay,
We're
this
getting
is-
close here.
Well, it's going to end close, I think. But will the times be any? Oh, hang on, working down. I like that one. You started at the handle and worked all the way down to the tip. That's a new tip.
Always happens.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
That's it.
Ah,
All right.
oh, looks like dead heat.
Dead heat.
I'd just like to say, fantastic editing there. He was under a lot of pressure today. Gave up his Indian meal again. Bring yourself in, Joe. So thank you ever so much for all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. That's okay. Yeah, we could see you. Yes, and we'll come back to maybe later on in the show because that's your new apprentice as well, alongside Joe as well. So some good stories there as well.
People have already noticed I've got a bit of workwear envy, the Strauss workwear.
Yeah.
We will come back to that because I'm looking. I've got the catalogue turned up last week. Yeah.
Careful. Careful.
It's good stuff, but I think it's a bit pricey. But
Well, we own Eddie Current, the brand, so surely we're not coming away from our own
no,
brand,
but
are we?
Strauss, that was good. So people got some questions on the clothing that we'll come back to. And how did you find that?
Not as easy as it looks. When you're under pressure, well, not under pressure, wrong word. When you've got people watching you, it's just a lot more.
I think weirdly you put yourself under pressure. Like Lou said, you've got people watching you, but it's one of the most basic things you do, isn't it? It's sort of the first thing you learn, and you're fumbling with screws, and you get those through. And
Get the cables up the conduit, which is
and you showed us
Demonstration
how you
was
showed us
great. I
how
didn't
to
use
do
any
it.
tape on the demo. Did it go first time for me? Did it go first time? Did it effortlessly go the
Yes,
tube? Did
effortlessly as
did
well.
I straighten the end like I showed you? And did you?
It worked, yeah.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it? It's amazing what 3 years worth of experience can do for you, and then don't listen to it. It's like my old teaching days. I'll tell you how to do it, and you don't listen to me.
You managed to navigate your way out of that, Stephen.
I did, yes.
You wish you had a chance to try now?
No. A different world to me, yes.
World syndrome.
Well, best say, I mean, looking across at the board, we have rejigged the board. People have got a warning up coming in.
Can I just bring in hand cam? Because I want to see, obviously, we'll see the top and the bottom of the board. If you just bring me in here, Joe, so let's have a little look. So we go all the way at the top, and we know that James Finney's up there at the very top. But obviously, we've rejigged the board. And as we come slowly down that board, you might be able to see your name. I'm sure Darren Cranis is shouting at the TV when he gets his end. Sorry, we're in the outrageous territory here because this is 4 minutes and a bit, so outrageous down here. And then we get to the very bottom of the board, and let's see who we're trying to be above. We're all trying to be above. Oh! Richard Gaunt, eFIXX employee. So look, he's right at the bottom of the board there, right by David Kitchener. So that's a shame.
Hashtag above Rich.
Yeah, so
yeah,
above
we've had to
Rick.
relegate some people.
And then we've got some people. This is now you don't want to be top of this one because this is the top of the slow board. So Cole's still top of the slow board, just down here, and then we will see John Vauxhall somewhere around here, I would imagine, in a few moments. Okay, let's have a little look then. G-Dog.
Right. Okay. Let's have a yeah. This is where.
Who are we going to start with? Who are we going to start with? Well, let's ask them. Who do they?
Should we start with?
Right, so it should be ladies first, shouldn't
Is it?
All right. I have a feeling.
Right. Okay. Well, Louise did this in. Now, people often say we'll leave a gap on here as to where it's going.
Or where the bolts go.
Or where the bolts go, and that's exactly correct. They are completely wrong, actually. So there's a gap there. You did this. You didn't do it in 3 minutes. Obviously, when you move into smart homes, you've got to take your time a little bit further. You did this in 4 minutes and 25, which is a respectable time. You're down there with Peter Wade, as we call him, Lemon Face.
Old lemon sucker.
Let's see. Down there, he's mega. He did used to be an electrician. At some point, he hoodwinked us for the day. So that's a commendable time there. And above Graham Kenyon there, that's good. That's good.
Chair of JPEL 64.
Yeah.
What's the regulations? You beat the regulations.
And then John, so you didn't do that in 4. Yeah, I'm looking up here at 3, but I'd be going in the wrong direction. Yeah. But now I'm going to have to start kneeling down because we've shifted the ties down here. So I'm down. I'm shuffling around here. And you did this in 5 minutes 11. Oh. Outrageous. Outrageous. This is down here. We're in firm apprenticeship territory. We've got some learners here.
Oh yeah, we have, haven't we? Yeah.
Oh.
Anyone got a mirror for John?
Oh, no.
Now, what's going to be really interesting is, obviously,
Thrashed him.
Lauren did that as well. And we haven't met Lauren. Lauren's got a story, yes, on the team as well. And we're going to be showing her time next week, Gary, aren't we?
Is it next week? It's the
2 weeks' time. 2 weeks'
yeah.
time.
So is that the final one of the year? Is that the 13th? Is that our final one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're out on the. You're not with us when we come back in 2 weeks' time.
I'm down with Darren Cranis down in London.
Yeah.
ECA technical meeting.
Right. Okay. So
Which rumour has it there will be
refreshments.
Refreshments
Yeah.
afterwards, being the festive time of year.
Okay, good. So that means the phone number needs to go
Someone
out.
needs to ring now, Jenny, on the burner phone to get a prize. And Jenny's really excited, but
Have they dropped the number to them so they know?
numbers in the chat there.
Okay, so can we
people have time
announce
to
the
ring
person that's won then that's making that phone call in?
The person is Short Circuit.
Short Circuit. That
Assuming
sounds
that's not their birth name.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
That's But yeah, Short Circuit. There's a regular viewer.
Which is good, so they get to speak to wonderful Jenny.
Yes.
Just like to say, for the record though, Jenny is taken, so she let us know a couple of weeks ago that she was no longer available, just blurted it out in the middle of a conversation about something completely different, and it was
Now
like...
wishes she hadn't.
Yeah, so we mention it every time we see her. So, Short Circuit, if you want to ring Jenny up, but keep it nice and sensible. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll see if
waiting
that
for
phone
We've got
rings.
10 minutes.
Yes,
10 minutes to
10
ring.
minutes to
Otherwise,
ring.
we'll move on and we'll keep the prize.
Okay, time to get into the first segment then, Gordon. So shall we'll carry on with the show? We're not going to sit here waiting for 10 minutes, because that don't make good TV, does it?
It doesn't, no.
No, okay, so Louise, you got into smart home via a little route that you told us there about, so obviously just getting in through the dwelling installer. You're currently a full scope contractor now though, aren't you? You're not that's a good way in, especially when you're trying to get yourself back into the industry. You've been out of it for some time.
Yep.
But you didn't start in smart. You suggested earlier off camera, you had like this 4 or 6 bedroomed house, okay, that you were trying to obviously rewire, and that meant that you need a little bit more help at that stage.
When I started the business, the second job I picked up was a 5-bed rewire, and knew I couldn't do it on my own, so dragged John out with me to come and help, because I was like, can't do it on my own. And
did he slow you up? Because it looks like he probably did. Yeah, it did take a lot longer than one person would have taken to do it. Yeah. So I got a whiff of that earlier on. Yeah.
You're never going to live that down.
No, I'm not. No,
He's not tonight. Anyway.
not tonight. No.
So you pulled him in. Okay. Oh, we've already been disturbed. It's the burner phone. Let's change the camera angle over and see who's on the burner phone. Breaking. Oh, here we go. Sorry.
You have, congratulations. Yeah, can I take your details? I presume your name's not Short Circuit.
Just remind him you're taken. These aren't for your personal use, Jenny. Okay, so there we go. Short circuit's details are in. The burner phone is not available. We'll be turning it off. We did have a few messages in between. Hello, Lauren. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Yeah, all right, mate. How are you? Yeah, right, okay. Let's get back to my seat. Okay, so while that's going on then, so yeah, please, we're trusting our audience, loyal people that tune in on Facebook and on YouTube, not to abuse that number, because that number is obviously going to ring that phone. We will turn it off, so if you think you want to ring it, then obviously...
We did leave some people a code for the old board.
Yeah, for last time down. So we don't expect them to come in every 2 or 3 minutes, but again, that's something we're working towards as well. Some of our loyal customers, maybe a Sean Dempsey will have it. Imagine how many would get in on that one when Sean's sending it in on that one each week. So we're off and running. So you currently got a big job on, and you run out of people that you could think of, and then John came to your mind eventually, and obviously it's coming. Was that the start of the relationship business-wise?
Business-wise, yeah, it was a start relationship,
Yeah.
because the whole point of the business originally was just to do electrical work whilst John and I were refurbishing houses, and between the buying and selling, the selling and the buying of the new house, I said I was going to go out and change light bulbs and make cups of tea for old ladies.
Okay.
But obviously that didn't happen. We got this massive job, and I pulled John in to help. Kind of went from there, really.
Yeah.
It just went up.
But no smart. So we got this
No
big
smart
job.
to start with, no.
So there must be, and let's accelerate the journey on then. So we've got this business. We're obviously not just changing the lamps, they're electric lamps, by the way. So you weren't changing lamps for old people and drinking cups of tea. You thought to yourself, right, okay, we're going to take bigger jobs on, and then obviously then bigger jobs, etc. But then you somehow stumbled into smart.
Yes.
You can't tell me it's some tennis court with a random switch. So how was your story then?
That's exactly it, though.
No. Tennis court and a random switch. Let's hear this story.
Picked up a client who had tennis court lights who wanted to be able to switch them on from the house, but we couldn't run a cable down the garden.
Okay.
So had to look in some kind of remote switching, and that's when you start doing some research. You find a product that work, and then you do a bit more research. You find another product, and then you find someone in the industry. You join a forum, and it just spiraled from there, really. And got talking to lots of different people about, and this is where you came in and did a lot of this research with us. Talked to a lot of different people, and that's the start of the journey, really.
So one random remote switch on a tennis court leads you to the thriving business that we can all see. I suppose most people will probably associate you more with Instagram and the great stuff that you do over there that's visually engaging. Obviously, you've got your website and all the rest of it.
Common problem, though, Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't switch your lights on your tennis court from your house.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That remote switch is still working as well. That was what, 6 years ago?
Yeah. So you went in for a remote switch.
Yep.
Yeah. And they ended up with like a massive rack, full house audio distribution, televisions everywhere.
Multi-zone audio.
Did it stop with the switch?
No, actually that kind of progressed, but quite organically. So once the client had seen what you can do, and you have conversations with clients now and again, and then sort of, oh, hang on, we can do that, and it's evolved, that job. But as Lou says, that switch is still there, up a tree, doing its job.
Yeah. What else have they got in there? Have they got a bit of a sound system?
They got a sound system. They've got some nice, reliable internet now and Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Got some really nice Sonos, actually.
Actually, got some really nice Sonos in there as well. Yeah.
So again, for the people watching this, we've tried to encourage them maybe to fit air source heat pumps. We're encouraging them maybe to look at doing solar and think about what that modern house is going to look like. And it's here, and it's pending these people that are actually out there. My children being great examples. They're going to expect more in a house than lights and sockets. Obviously, you're now on that journey through these forums and all the rest of it. How do you escalate a business up from one switch in a tree to effectively being one that probably now specialises in smart, but also does electricity in its usual form of sockets and lights, etc.?
It was a natural progression, really.
I think for us, it's
almost difficult to explain, but
we're quite lucky. A lot of our, it's existing clients. You just go through the journey with them, and it's just conversations you have over time. If there's that saying, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day. It's you're interested in it anyway.
165 days here, slogging away.
Slogging away. It's just something you're kind of passionate about, and you'll just talk about it anyway. Sometimes you'll bore people to tears, but you just talk about it. And we've just found that's how the business has grown. You might just have a conversation about something, lighting in general. client may just go away and sort of 6 months later they'll, oh, you mentioned we could do that, because it's a lot more available now, so people are talking about it a lot more anyway. Back sort of 6 years ago when we first sort of discovered that you could switch something wirelessly, it wasn't as common as it is now. I think Alexas were kind of just appearing.
If you're saying Alexa,
sorry,
people
yes,
at home,
sorry,
if you say
yeah,
Alexa,
sorry.
buy something for Christmas from
sorry.
my list, that's no good to anyone. Hey Google, please order me Christmas gifts. Do not say that, because it's no good, John. People will be moaning. Okay, so don't do that.
So for us, it's been quite organic.
Well, let's go back to the large rewire you did then. So that was just done. I take it was a standard electrical rewire, lights and sockets, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much lights and sockets, and I think it was a couple of hardwired internet connections to the office, and that was it.
Okay, so is that the first journey you think people should make, the hardwired internet, without a robust internet connection across the house that probably isn't using Wi-Fi, that is actually solid? Would that be your first port of call?
That would be my first port of call. If you haven't got a reliable network to run all your devices on, then you're going to struggle. You can't rely on your internet service provider's router, because it's just not good enough to provide Wi-Fi throughout a whole house. So if you can run the internet network connections for access points and hardwired points for your computer and such, then TVs you'll be
Pretty much.
laughing then.
All your smart tech is going to sit on a network, whether it's wirelessly or wired. If you get the backbone in, you've then got the choice.
Okay, and you did some good calculations for us, didn't we, off camera? Let's say my rewire is going to cost X. Yeah. To put in the actual hardwired infrastructure and the thought of smart in the future, what's the rule of thumb for costing?
We generally say to clients, whatever the rewire is going to cost, same again for your hardwired network. Okay. And it just kind of gives people an idea. Obviously, it's like rewires; they can be ever so different. If you're just having a really basic one with pendant light and a couple of sockets, it's the same thing with a network. You could want multiple points. The build of the house comes into it quite often, especially new builds. They're quite hard to get a reliable Wi-Fi signal through, so that might require more going into it. But just as a general guide, and then people kind of know where they need to be.
Right, okay. So double thread, what do I get for that though, Louise? So I've said, yes, I want a smart enabled house, maybe without all the kit. I want to be ready for the future, okay? What am I getting it installed that obviously any electrician can do, regardless whether they want to go onto the kit on the end of it?
So if we're talking about a smart pre-wire, you'd get
I like that. Say that again.
Smart pre-wire.
Oh.
So it's just the.
I like that. I'm going to use that.
It will be a hardwired network connection, Wi-Fi access points. With this, obviously, with that kit on top, speaker locations in ceilings for like the dining room, kitchen, garden, CCTV camera pre-wire, smart doorbell. I'm missing something. What am I missing? Heating controls, all your smart lighting. Yeah, all of that wired, and it will come into a central point in a termination box and all be terminated.
Yeah, and it's that rule of thumb, and I've said it for years now, hardest cable to pull in is the one you forget, okay? And it's the one you're going to need in the future. Now, initially when you have your house rewired, none of this is an issue to you, and then 18 months later you realise all this connective kit, and you've got, maybe in a modern house especially, you've got all the problems of metal stud work and film-backed insulation boards and all the rest of it. You've got a problem. But by just spending that little bit more when the house is wrecked, effectively on that rewire, you're actually enabled that for the future. Now, you're in that position yourself, Gordon, aren't you? Because you did that when you rebuilt your house, didn't you? You got it ready for the future.
Ish. There's always a thing. I mean, there's two things. Just a quick one from the comments. We've got a comedian in again, Tom.
Okay.
Remote lighting switching for a tennis court. What type of racket is that?
Very good.
I'll get my coat.
I was going to say, you want to squash that early then. I don't want to. Dear.
Oh dear, there we go.
Okay, so we're here twice a month, every other Wednesday. Okay, yes.
No, I did smart. So I guess I did the wireless light switch. Used Rayco was got me. I started with lighting because that was background. So I thought I've got access to reasonably priced lighting controls. So I put that in, and then obviously internet. But I did Cat 5, Gary. I have to fess up.
Oh no!
I'm regretting it now, aren't I?
Well, do you want me to tell you what Cat 5's used for? Yeah, the old saying that I like to use. Me and John use this one. Cat 5's used for holding your trousers up. It makes a decent belt, but nothing else. And that was John from Oldfields.
Yeah. So
you've got Cat 5 everywhere. What a shame.
I've got Cat 5. I thought a little bit of future-proof and the lighting control. The problem I find with lighting control, well, all controls actually, it's a bit addictive. You start controlling one thing and then you have to control the other thing. And the biggest regret I've ever had, I've got one cupboard that hasn't got lighting control in it. Yeah. Everything else I've seen set and things switch on at different times of day. Nobody switches that light off, do they?
It's permanently on.
Yeah, so I can guarantee I'll go in there after that. The first thing I'll do is open the understairs cupboard and switch that light off because it's been left on all day.
Okay. So that's
First world problem again. It's a bit like the switching of the tennis court, but I sorted that with a wireless switch.
yeah. And that's the sort of position we're in. Now, then people can watch this and they think, yeah, but I still don't want to do it. I still don't want to do it. But I think having an understanding, maybe you can help me a little bit out on this one, Stephen, having an understanding of what the smart system could be. Let's make it easy. Maybe that's maybe improving the sound on a TV. Now, we all know, we all look at the picture, then we always get a LCD TV and all the rest of it, and I've got the latest one with these LEDs in and all the rest of it. And then all of a sudden, when you hear great sound, you realise that the picture isn't much better than what you were used to before, but great sound is. Now, it doesn't just mean splashing a few speakers around, because they need power as well, don't they?
Yeah, exactly that. All our speakers require power. So if you have got a home cinema and you have a soundbar and you have rear speakers and you have a subwoofer,
Yep.
well, all of those products need power. And that means that invariably a room doesn't have enough power for that. And so that's why electricians are the first people for this type of thing, because, well, if you need to put Era 300s as rears to your Arc, then you need to get rear power behind the sofa. If you're then looking at adding the products to the TV, well, you've then got to get power for the TV, you've got to get power for the soundbar, you've got power for the subwoofer, you've got power for the Skybox, you've got power for maybe an Xbox or a PlayStation. So all of that needs to go into a home. And even in new build homes, they never put enough power into these rooms to make it worthwhile.
So there's opportunity, I would suggest. So anyone doing a rewire and they want to even just say, I'm just going to give it a chance of being smart, future-proofed. Cat 6, not the old 5 that you put round. Cat 6 everywhere, and sockets probably where, in the old days, you'd say, well, I wouldn't put a socket on the middle of that wall because I know the sofa's going there. You'd probably argue, now that's a really good place. Yeah.
It's a really good place, because a perfect example, if you have got that with the sofa with a dual socket behind the sofa, often you can then get both the rear speakers into that one socket, rather than having a socket in that corner and a socket in that corner, right. Which would be perfect, but obviously that's not always the case. But if you can run cables behind the sofa, it means we don't like to see cables. We're a wireless system, but we need power. So there's always going to be a cable running from the product to a power socket. And so it just makes sense to really look at a room and go, well, if I was going to do this properly and I was going to wire this for a surround sound system, where am I going to need this power?
Okay. Do you find you put yourself putting sockets in odd places? Do you think, oh, we're going to smuggle one in here? You know they don't need it, but you know you're going back, and that socket's going to be the one you go, we've left one here behind the bookcase where they went to us, don't bother.
Yeah, it's been done. That's been done, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you know it's going to happen, and you're just doing the right thing for your client. Sometimes you can walk into a room, and even though the client's not made that decision yet, the room just sort of lends itself to TVs going there, rear speakers are going there. We need to get these in now, even the client saying, I'm just going to have a light there.
Yeah. And Louise, you talked about the hanging the TV on the wall. So it's great. Everyone loves it, maybe above the fireplace in the old days, but in that sort of fireplace area location. And you see on new builds, don't you? They put like a twin socket and maybe a coax point there. Is that a good idea?
Yes and no. Bearing in mind that TVs are getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and people want them mounted closer to the wall. If you've got a socket behind the wall, you've then got to put a plug in it. You've got then some depth to hide behind the TV, which is not easy to do. So we would suggest probably put in the sockets underneath if you're going to have some kind of cabinet, and then just some trunking up the wall, so that you can feed your cables up behind the TV, and then your TV can fit as flush to the wall as possible.
So you think trunking and conduits buried in the wall, aren't we?
Yeah, buried in the wall.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, when you see that oval. Yeah. I know some people, is it D-Line, have made some lovely looking oval conduits and trunkings, haven't they, to try and hide these cables going up to systems, but they're sort of holding cards, aren't they, until probably the next time they decorate. Yeah. So a new build, from your point of view, should have a couple of conduits or a couple of trunkings buried in the wall, so those cables can be dropped down, and that's the sort of thinking you're going to have to do on behalf of the client, because I still see people saying, I want a socket on the wall in that position, because they think that's enough to get the telly. Is that a mistake that maybe you made, Gordon, or were you a tuber? Yeah, oh, right.
Well, you got to remember, well, the problem is technology is always changing, isn't it? And it's probably great for you, because the thinner they make television, the worse the sounds get.
Yes,
isn't
correct.
It? That's the, and I did a kitchen extension at home, and I put a television in, I put surround sound in, I put the 5.1 in, I didn't go for that, and I put ceiling speakers in, and I did all of this. It was hard work because I had to put the fire hoods in for the speakers.
Yes.
And obviously you've got to then line them up, where's the joist line, then you've got the lights going, and it's quite hard work. Planning it out is probably the hardest bit of it, to make sure you've got the cables in the right place and the holes will end up in the right place. And then now I'm looking, and I've got a Samsung television. I made a little recess into the wall for it and things like that. And that telly's now 12 years old. Yeah, and it's quite a thick telly. And then you think, looking to replace it, no, that's not going to work, is it? And there's not even enough depth behind it to get the coax socket's never in the right place.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think you could even get I think to fess up a little bit, yeah, to leave the socket out for the networking point and push it back into the box a bit to get everything in. So, yeah, I'd agree it's not the best idea to put them behind the telly.
But coax.
Yeah.
So you're off an aerial, are you?
Not anymore, no, it's all gone.
So you're streaming everything, are you?
Yeah, now.
Yeah. So it just shows you in such. I know it says 12 years. You know, you probably did that when you were 62. So obviously back then, you actually went to Charlie Munger's obviously birth, didn't you? That's how old you are. Anyone who saw Charlie Munger's passed away this week. That's a bit of a shame. But yeah, you did. So that shows you how it's changed, doesn't it? That, you know, but have house builders kept up? Or are they still banging coaxes in and leaving them in the roof and all the rest of it?
And shotgun cable.
Shotgun,
Yeah, still going in.
It's kind of like a...
But in the corner, nowhere near where
you need it. Yeah, but they've done it. So,
Yeah.
box ticks, yeah.
Yeah, and that brings us, doesn't it, to our good friend in Scotland, doesn't it, Colin Mulvaney. He actually prides his own business on going in and changing the modern house, which was built by a builder, into the house you really wanted. And there's a good scope for that type of work as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of new build goes on up there. It's big in the media walls, isn't it? I think that seems to be the thing people want, isn't it? You don't just want the television on the wall, because even if you just put it on a flat wall, it doesn't look very good, does it? Even if it's really thin.
It's the TV on the wall, yeah.
Yeah,
It's still a TV on a wall.
yeah. And I think there's a lot of
Media walls are growing in many houses, not just the big houses, because it's a relatively cost-effective way of turning a living room into something that's a bit more than a living room. And you're right. I mean, a TV on the wall is a TV on the wall, whereas a bit of a wall cabinetry, whatever it is, makes for a statement in that room and changes that room into being something more than it just a blank wall with a TV hanging on it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of, obviously, different to a flat wall, but you've also got those slots, and people love a slot with a PlayStation, and maybe and then go and buy an Xbox as well, so you can put two in, and they're all linked to the telly. Yeah, it becomes aspirational to add the trinkets around that wall rather than just have the TV as the focal point.
Exactly that, and that's exactly where the electricians come in, is that electricians are more than capable of hanging TVs on the wall, are more than able of putting the power needs of the room in.
Our audience will be chuffed with that statement.
And well, that's why I'm here. And because it just makes sense. Whereas often if customers want to buy the products themselves, they can do, but of course they then take it home and they go, oh, wait a minute, how am I going to hang this on the wall? How am I going to attach this? How am I going to get this to work? Whereas if they get their electrician in to do it for them, it's done in 3 or 4 hours, done with a great sale for the electrician, but more importantly, a very happy client at the end of the day.
And a lot of what we just spoke about there doesn't sound like smart to me. That just sounds like sockets, TVs and sound, yet we class that as being a smart installation.
Because of what you're plugging into those sockets.
Absolutely.
So all smart products require power, whether that's a doorbell, whether that's a Hive or Nest heating control, whether that's Sonos, whether that's Rayco lighting or Lutron Ratusa lighting, they all require power. Smart homes require power.
And I think our audience has often got caught up, haven't they, with full rack systems. We see it online, and we see that, and we think, oh my word, I'm diving into Control 4. This is the sort of world I'm going into. Yet the stuff we've all suggested there is just opportunity, isn't it? When the kit's going to cost a reasonable amount of money to get the sound quality you want and the visuals you want, that's a great little markup for us. It's a aspirational part of a business. It's an easy one to advertise, which you've been fantastic, and your van is also banging as well. So, you know, I mean, it becomes an easy sell, doesn't it? You know, gone are the rusty transit vans with the electrician, you know, driving like a lunatic in them, and all of a sudden now you're transforming spaces, not adding sockets and lights. And I don't think necessarily that transforms anyone's space, because we're all used to sockets and lights. How many people at home? Maybe they can tell us on the comments. How many people at home got a media wall? How many people at home would like a media wall? I haven't got a media wall. I'm sure my kids will expect one.
What's that? Yeah, could be one. There's been people living the dream, so someone's obviously installed an HDMI into a wall at first fix stage.
There we go.
There you
Obviously,
go.
the builder damaged it, and now we'll fit a conduit.
Almost there. Almost there.
Now it's
Almost.
conduits up there, so it's easy to replace and future-proof. And you're right about the media wall. I think. Yeah. Have you done a series on media walls? Have you done? I saw some.
You have done
some
some,
pictures. isn't
Quite a few media walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good fun. Good fun
Yeah.
to do, and it is that wow factor you were saying, and clients do come in and you get the double take. Oh wow. And it just works, especially with someone like Sonos. I'm not just saying it because Stephen's here. We actually have Sonos in our house. It sounds really good. And it generally does.
Really? Really, yeah. So you should be a salesman for them. These are great. They're like speakers, give you
those
great
ones,
sound.
yeah,
lovely
yeah.
sound.
But yeah, it just works your ear. Like Stephen was saying, you want to put the Air 300s in as your ears. As long as you've got your sockets, you're done.
But you walk into them, when I've seen great media walls, you walk into them and it's like a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
You look at that, and how many times are you looking at where the television sits? Well, the entire time most people are in a lounge or a living room or a living space, and now all of a sudden you're looking at what is effectively a beautiful piece of furniture, and it's a wall.
Yeah.
I think that's a shift. I would think that people.
Whether the TV's on or off, it still looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with
a
that.
bit of lighting around it and stuff.
Yeah, LEDs smuggled into little bits, which you like doing, don't you? Talk about your bookcase and smuggling LED lights into your living room.
Some pictures. Yeah, no, well, LEDs, as my colleague Ray used to say, like LEDs allow it to be like drug smugglers. You can put them in anything really, and sort of and get them around. You can put them in the cabinets. You can put them in there.
Can I personally speak to the algorithm at this moment and say it was a story, not a suggestion? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what LED's great. That's part of a good media wall, isn't it? You've smuggled a bit of LED tape in there, and it's actually quite, as a component cost effective, we'll say.
Yeah.
But looks great.
Yeah.
Have we got any pictures that can help us out with some of these stories?
Let's see
I think we've been trawling through your social media, so there must be something on here that Louise.
Oh, there we go.
Oh dear! So we've just put the entire audience off. We've just said three sockets in a lounge behind some settees, and wow. Okay. So, talk me through this. This is like the early stages of Rainbow Spaghetti, yes?
It is Rainbow Spaghetti, yeah. It's the termination end of a smart home, and that was actually quite a substantial home with 8 zones of audio and internet to every single room. And we run fibre as well, and it was eight TV locations.
That one is a pre-wire. So the client
pre-wire.
didn't know what they wanted to do in the end. They didn't know what the budget was. So that was, we sat
You
down.
wired everything, just wired for every possible solution.
Yeah.
So they might have ended up with like one internet point in their bedroom, and that's what you put in to make sure they got it. Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. Wow. Okay, let's try and get the audience in.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a little bit different, isn't it?
Media wall.
Media wall.
Yeah.
Nice and simple, like you're saying. Got the LED around the outside.
Is that a dwelling, or is that some sort of like dentist waiting room? Is it a dwelling?
That is a client.
You're laughing like it's ours. Yeah, it's like it's ours. No, it's not ours. Okay.
No, it's a client's room.
Okay, fine.
Is
That's
that
good.
a Sonos box on the
That's a
floor?
that is a
subwoofer and a Sonos
It's like a potted plant to
The
me.
Arc colour.
The Arc is the soundbar underneath the TV.
Is that a bigger? Is that a newer one? Is it?
That's what replaced yours.
Oh, I'll have your old one. I'll have your old one. You get one. I'll have your old one. I've got in there. You give your car away this week. So next one. So is this a different place then? Because it's got the same palette with what looks like those wood strips. Is that a you thing? Is that your design or is that theirs?
On that one, the client actually designed that room.
The previous one?
Previous one, that was our design, but in consultation, the client said, I
So
want...
you stole the idea from this one. Is that what we're saying? So you saw this one and then built it in something
Hang on
else.
a minute, yeah.
Isn't that how everything works?
Yeah, it's good. No, I like the way it was
Stolen
done.
with pride, we'll call it,
it's
Gary.
good.
You've got that's the,
Okay. Oh,
Ooh, there
my
we
house. Yeah. Wow, that's nice.
a bit of fibre optic in the ceiling. Is it?
That is, Starscape ceiling. Yeah,
Right.
fibre optic, really nice.
Did you do all that?
Yes, we did, yeah.
That's not being nasty enough. When you go home from work and you've done that for a living, there's a lot of pride and satisfaction in that. And to think you've transformed that space with your skills to make it look like that, that's a nice day at work, I would suggest. I imagine it was more than one. Okay.
It was more than one day at
It
work.
was more than one.
John does slow you down a bit though, doesn't he? So, okay, that's
To be
lovely.
fair, the client's reaction to that room was the best.
Yeah, well, it would be, wouldn't it? That is beautiful. Okay, what else have we got?
You have been trawling our Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah. Okay, talk us through this
Yeah,
one then,
company
Louise.
limbo competition. Is that it?
Me? I think John should talk you through this one.
I'm still suffering now. I'd given up on the socket.
Well, you were too slow, I'd imagine. It's probably still not finished. So if anything,
That one, it looks like we're actually installing some under cabinet lights in there, yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There is only one way of doing it, because you have to get underneath to see what you're doing properly.
Get it straight, it's the only way to do it.
I'll give you a tip here. Right? I've done a bit of LED in my time. Yeah? What I do, I actually put the LED into the extrusion on the bench.
And then screw the clips up into
and then stick it up afterwards. So
That's far too easy.
you don't have to solder upside down.
Or imagine dropping a bit in your eye. Oh, okay, moving on. Oh, solder in the eye.
Oh, that's another
You
one.
superimposed onto that one. You cut yourself out and take a bit of. Yes.
It does look like that, but
yeah, it
no,
does.
it's not. I was actually there.
Yeah, that was a lovely.
What is that room then? Because that looks like this.
Cinema room.
That is a client cinema.
Is it really? So it's 3 rows of seats for the cinema room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were called in to do the fabric work for that one.
What the
The ivory coloured fabric, yeah.
wow. Okay.
That, yeah, goes all the way over. That was hard work.
Right. You weren't
Probably
doing
the
that
most,
upside down as well, were you?
no, probably the most complicated one we've done to date. But again, the end result was
Yeah, just
wow.
wow, innit? Yeah.
But there are companies out there that will help and support you on that.
Yes.
Aren't there? That will help you design these things.
Yeah.
So don't think you've got to do that on your own. There are companies out there that will help you with that.
Yeah, it's good. No, excellent. Well, so we've got any more, Joe? Ah, okay. Yeah. So
Health and safety. Look away now.
please, yeah. And what makes it worse? Safety's not an issue. The photo's more the issue. Now. I've got to get a picture of this one. Is this doing those bulbs for those old ladies? Is it that you dreamed of in the early days? Is it? What are we doing here?
We are actually changing a lamp
Okay.
because it's failed, but
What if I remember? It was literally handover day, wasn't it?
Yes.
And as happens now and again, one of the lamps just failed. Fine when it went in.
And you've gone on the train to
and
work.
The ladder was in the van,
buried.
Yeah.
and the quickest way.
Yeah, was to do that. And for me, John, just looking at that photo quickly, it looks like your hair has grown back. Actually, you look more bald on that photograph than you do in real life, doesn't it? It looks like you've got nothing on top there. So, yeah, fantastic. You've got reverse in the process. And the next one. So, all right, we're in somewhere familiar territory there. Have you had a whiff of a training course at my friend Rich Heppel's? Have you had a whiff down there?
Yeah, that's the termination box for that big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
First picture.
Well, started with.
Where you were standing on earlier.
So
Yeah,
it goes from that kind of like spaghetti mess
to that.
to that. Well, that's a transition, but
Yeah. But yeah, bit of training with Rich.
There's a lot. How
Can you
long
tell?
how long does it take to terminate something like that?
that termination box took 3 days.
Right. Wow.
John took 5.
Well, John had to go because he's supporting underneath there. What you don't see is John's holding up again, and then it's there, you see.
It's the steps. We couldn't be bothered. It was a 3-day job, so we thought we can't be bothered to get him out of the back of the van. I'll just stand here for 3 days. I like it.
Yeah.
No, really good. Okay, and the smile says it all. Look at that. Yeah, thing of beauty. And again, you don't often, I don't think, apart from maybe with lighting, you don't often get to look at your cables under normal wiring systems, do you, if you're in a dwelling, and actually stand back and admire them because they're normally buried within the fabric of the building, Gordon. Okay, but there you actually get to stand back and have a little look at that and think, yeah, I did that. That looks pretty sweet.
And I'm wondering there, what's that wire going to the airing cupboard got on the end of it?
Oh, yeah, Aaron.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's why you label them.
That's what. There's a network point in the airing cupboard, and it's actually for part of the heating controls.
Ah, there we
The
go.
airing cupboard actually holds the water heater.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Ah,
Smart water heater.
Yeah, it's connected to the smart system. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Okay, we're scaring our customers. Oh, now we're not. We're loving that. So, projector,
I've
yes.
heard you can get a reasonably priced projector, Gary.
For how much?
Between $5 and $6 grand.
Is that all? And that's a reasonably priced one. Wow. Can I have 3? Where is David when we need him? Okay, so projector there. How much did that one cost roughly? Just give us a rough idea. Not installed, so obviously to buy.
That is actually the Art of Smart Cinema. That is Rich's cinema.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm used to seeing it. He's got a big settee there now, hasn't he?
Yes,
Under
yeah.
that. Yeah.
That
So
was-
okay, we're looking at it. You're
You
looking
did
at
a lot of the work there, didn't you?
We did it all.
We built
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Did everything from designing through to build, finished the whole.
Finished the whole lot, handover. Good fun, but wow.
Oh, brilliant. Have we got any more, Joe? Ah,
We're not bothering with the ladders again.
your stepladder went for a wee, did he?
Took the ladder away on that one.
What is?
We do have a ladder, honestly.
Yeah.
I can see it. It's in the mirror. Wow. Okay, talk me through this one then, Louise.
No, John can talk you through this one.
What's happening here?
That is, we were installing a projector for
Huge
Virgin Audio, huge projector in Huntington, and the projector weighed 75 kilos.
Yes.
And don't tell me you were trying to work out whether you could hold 75
We needed
kilos.
to load test it, obviously.
Right.
So that's fixed to the ceiling, and we hung a Louise off it.
Okay.
I'm not 75 kilos.
No, Lou wasn't actually
Right.
heavy enough, so our gym really kindly lent us some plates, and we hung those off it over the weekend.
All right. Inch and a half eighths. Done it. Top job.
Top job, done it, mate.
Oh. Out with a brother.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have to stop you there with printers.
Label everything. I think that's probably one of the biggest things with smart, when you're doing a smart pre-wire, is to make sure you label your cables.
Label.
Because if you don't know what they are, it just becomes a bit of a mission at the end to work out
you've
exactly
got
what goes where. And
Gazillion cables.
Hold on, we've got a better solution for that. Yeah.
Have we?
Yeah, the problem with the brother one. Yeah. Every time you cut it, there's a big chunk of tape comes off the end.
And how long's a reel on a brother?
8 metres. Let's have a look at the one we found that's better. So let's have a look what we found in Innovation Corner.
I just used the Epson LWZ710 to label this consumer unit, and it's amazing. I didn't read the instructions and made a few mistakes that you can learn from. Download the Epson Datacom app and turn on the printer to get started. You can power the printer using battery or the mains adapter. Connect to your device using Bluetooth. The app is smart enough to detect the printer's tape size. I'm using the maximum 24mm tape size. If you're working with standard DIN rail modules, set the tape width to 18mm. Select the number of modules you want to print, or you can just add them as you go. When you start adding text to your label, select the auto size feature to make it look like a ransom note. However, I used a fixed 9-point size, and if the module size is exceeded, a red warning appears. Select the multiplier if you have a double width module like a main switch. It's easy to check the label and correct any mistakes you make. Adding a line between modules will help you see if you've put the label on straight. To avoid having to apply your label upside down, I've discovered that the printer prints from left to right. Unlike other printers that waste material before printing, this one gets straight to the point. This printer has 9 meters of tape per reel, which is 1 meter more than other printers. Want to know more? Ask me a question in the comments.
I want one. Where can I get one from?
You can get one from Doc Store. So
Okay.
if Paul's on, you might want to put a link in the chat for that. But it's I tried that last week and yeah, we literally didn't read the instructions.
It worked.
And that's always a good sign of a product.
always a good
Actually, if
sign.
you can get it to work without reading the instructions, and obviously, yes, we did make some mistakes. But that was,
Paul Elcott's in the, so hopefully we'll leave a link in there or at least guide you to Doc Store, yes?
Yeah.
Where you can help you. I think he was giving a little cheeky, almost a Black Friday discount this week. Maybe if you lean on him, maybe that discount's still available, I would think. So yeah, brilliant, wasn't it? Really good. And hopefully we're going to be using it here at Lineside a lot more, maybe even using it to print out the names that are down there with Rick right at the bottom of the leaderboard down there. Rick,
Yeah.
do we know where he is this week? Is he?
Rick, he's obviously Rick. Normally he takes his college course, but he's been doing some work for the next moon landing. He's
Okay.
been practicing, I think, about chickens up there.
Okay, what's he been doing with those chickens? Oh, it was a culinary course.
Well, he always likes to do. Oh, now he's cooking as well. So, that's
Yeah, so
Rick always trying to improve his skill set. So obviously Wednesday night he's no longer. He goes to college and does his catering course,
yeah,
which we haven't seen the benefits of yet, Gary, because
Not
he still brings in sandwiches.
he does. Yeah, he does. I haven't seen him eating for a while. Everyone else has been mugged off on the eating. Didn't mug you two off this evening, been mugging everyone else off. Okay, so that's what we're up to. So the printer, hopefully Paul's left it in the comments. Get Doc Store for that printer.
And it does do heat shrink. And try one actually. I spotted the alternative there. That's what we've traditionally used over there. And it's,
Can we mention pound notes compared to maybe the one we used to use? Is it competitively priced?
Yeah, there's Well, they got the one with the app, and you got one that looks
I do
like
know
a
the
black
answer. I'm
credit
asking
card.
you the question.
Well done, right?
It's cheaper is the word you're looking for. Is
Yes.
it dearer than the one we used or cheaper?
It's cheaper, and
cheaper.
the consumables are cheaper.
Oh wow! So it sounds like a great deal.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay.
And then while we're speaking, obviously, just to touch back on the race wall as well, Gary. Obviously, we do say that after we've printed the label, put the time on there, the slowest has to clean up.
Oh, let's see who that was, John.
There he is. There he is. Sweeping up.
From the thumbnail, we know he's used to a dustpan and brush.
Yeah.
There we go. And in the bin.
There we go. Oh. Did a good job, the sweeping there.
Now, Greencable. Tell me all about Greencable.
What do you do with your scrap cables?
Funnily enough, it goes into a wheelie bin.
Yeah.
Then we have to take it
Yeah.
to weigh it in,
Right.
which is a bit of a faff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have a green cable.
Yeah. Well, they're spreading. They're spreading areas. They're up to Milton Keynes now.
Oh, they're close.
Yeah. So once they'll get there, you get one of those bins.
Yeah, would make it genuinely so much easier.
Yeah. Because it must be hard. London's not, you're edging on the outskirts of London, isn't it? There's a bit more traffic than we're used to here.
Yeah.
Some of it's powered by combustion engines. Is that what we're trying to say, Gordon?
Yeah.
So if we want to get Greencable, we're in the area. So Milton Keynes up north. And we're getting further. They say, regardless of where you are in area, please register. Is the link in the description?
It is in the description.
So get into the description, do a link. How much does it cost to sign up?
No, it's free to sign up. It's free to get your bin. And
And it's free for them to collect it.
It's free for them to
And they
collect
give you
it,
the money.
And they give the money.
Sounds like a terrible deal, doesn't it? Absolutely awful deal. Where you don't have
Obviously,
to
we
buy
double
anything.
dip because Doncaster Cables give us that cable. You make a mess of it, put it in the bin, and then they give us the money for it. And on the 14th of December, we're treating ourselves.
Yeah, we are. We're taking the team out, aren't we? We're off to the Railway Pub where I sometimes stay, and we're having our Christmas dinner there, aren't we? So there's 6 of us, so it should be good fun. So, yeah, if you're doing your Christmas meal and you want to put it into the comments, remember, the more comments we get, the more chance you've got of getting
Always
a shout-out.
questions on Cat 5, because obviously Cat 5 was the thing when I put mine in. I probably didn't. Cat 6. What are you fitting now? What's the standard?
We fit Cat 6 and 6A, but generally Cat 6, and now we're installing fibre as well.
Right.
Ooh, how's that? How good's that?
How good's that?
So what we're going on at each end? So where's my fibre go? So I've got a lump of fibre. I've gone from A to B. What's A and what's B? What's it connected to and from?
At the moment, we don't terminate, so we do it as part of the smart pre-wire, and we coil it in the back of the back box behind the Cat 6 terminals, and then when it's
Fibre enabled.
fibre enabled,
Yeah,
it can be installed then.
So that'll be effectively when the router can allow fibre to be jetted out of there. Is that what we're thinking for enabled, or is it something I'm missing?
Fibre to the property.
Yes.
And if you haven't got the fibre coming in, there's no point. Well, you could install a fibre throughout the house, but you're not going to get the benefit of the speed from it until the fibre's to the property.
Okay, all right, that's good. Now, you've been on a few courses. I'll tell you, you've been on a fibre course, have you? You spent a whole year, didn't you, going around the country just doing courses, didn't you, at one point?
Spend a lot of time doing a lot of training.
Early
courses,
days, against everyone's better advice.
Yes, again, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we were so fascinated by it. Oh, there's a training course for that. There's a training course for that, and a lot of people were saying, "Don't," because you don't quite know what you want to do yet. Specialise in something at least. And if you don't use it, so we were talking about earlier on, if you don't use it, you kind of forget bits of it. But we were like, no, we've done every single training course going, and they were absolutely right.
Yeah, okay. You had a great blast doing it, like on tour, doing just training courses around the UK.
We were actually, the question on one of the training courses was, how many training courses have Louise and John done this year?
Right, okay.
Was there any that you wouldn't recommend? Any? I'm not saying companies or technologies that you sort of was just.
I wouldn't say wouldn't recommend. What I would say is, don't go out there and sort of
Wasn't huge.
do too many of the same things. So pick a specialist that you like. So we really like lighting. So
Rayco was the obvious choice.
We went and did the Rayco training course, and then rather than move on to doing another lighting control, which you're kind of bringing 2 things to the table that you're not necessarily going to use both of them, do that one. Specialise in that, get that one under your belt, and then do something, and then move on to something else.
Yeah, rather than
try and just spread yourself too thin and just overload your brain.
Okay.
That's what we always say, is you choose the one you want to use, whether it's the lighting control, whether it's the Wi-Fi box, whatever it is, you choose the one that you want to choose and stick to it. And make sure that everybody who works for you knows how to operate it, work for it. Therefore, it doesn't matter who goes back to the job. If you have to go back, they know what they're going to find. They're going to be able to put it right if it's gone wrong. You're not faffing around thinking, oh, what do we fit there? What do we fit there? It just keeps it simple.
And do you offer training on Sonos? Is there sort of a program to become
Yeah, we do. So all our installers have to be authorised, which is a very simple procedure. So first thing you have to do is you have to sign up with one of our distributors. So here we have All Trade, or there's Oldfields, or there's Aeros and Cables, and there's others. Once you've got an account with one of the distributors, then we will issue a DocuSign document. You sign that document DocuSign document on your phone, and then that means you're authorised. Once you're authorised, then you get access to our webinars.
Okay.
So we do training webinars every month covering anything from essentials, so what is Sonos, right through to network problems and troubleshooting. So if there's a problem with an install, what can you do to make it go right? And what we say is don't do the last ones before you've done the first one, do the essential ones first, make sure you understand what the product is and how it works and how it operates. And then once you've done a couple of installs, then go on and do the courses that are a bit more techie and a bit more networky. Yeah. If you do the network one first, you'll just run away scared. So don't go there. Just go through the simple essentials first. And then once you've done the installations and maybe you've come across a couple of snags, maybe, that's when you do the more technical training courses for them. And they're recorded, so if you can't watch them live, then we will always issue them as a recording the following month when we issue the dates for the next month's training courses.
Yeah. I think.
Will you learn about actual spec in the system, up the right system for the right application?
Precisely that. Yeah, no, exactly that. And often with all these webinars, they have the Q&A at the end of it. And so that's where, if there is somebody on there who's a bit nervous or doesn't know what they're doing, that's where they ask the question. Nobody's going to look at them as if they're an idiot or a fool, because if you've got a question, the likelihood is somebody else has got the same question, and that's when the advice will come through. But we give really good training to our distributors, so all our distributors can train as well, and they can give advice, and some of our distributors can actually do the planning for installers. Okay. And so there's lots of options to get that information in the early stages. Once somebody's done our installations 3, 4, 5 times, they're going to know how to do it.
Sounds expensive, Stephen. So how much is it?
All free.
Get away. Get away. And what I think people end up doing is probably trying it on their own property first, don't they? They tend to have a system in. I'm sure you've done that with bits and bats in the past.
Precisely that.
Yeah, have your own system, fall in love with it. It's easy to sell then.
And once you've signed up with that distributor and you've signed that Sonos agreement, then that distributor will then give you an extra discount for product for your home. So we believe that when you've got product in your home, you're going to understand it, you're going to understand how to operate it, you understand how it works. And so we will increase that margin slightly over the normal discount that they get for buying from a distributor, means that then they can have it in their home.
I wonder how many people have got 12 living rooms in their house. Then
we do monitor.
That's what I'd be like. Yeah, got another one to put in at home. Squeeze out there. That sounds great. So yeah, everyone's a winner. Free training, a little bit of extra discount for your own kit. What more could you want?
Precisely that. And we do other things for our installers. We do something called the upgrade program, which our installers can then match our own .com upgrade program. So there's no miss on that one. They can give exactly the same discount, and then we credit them back so they don't miss out any money on the upgrade program. And of course, we will have new toys coming down the line in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months, which will be exclusively for installers as well.
All right, new toys like that.
Well, we're going to look at the toys in a little bit.
Yeah, we are going to hand come out and dive into those. So hang on for that. Make sure you get up close and personal with some of this kit. We've got another segment to jump to, have we?
We have. We've got to see what Rick's been up to. It's a first.
It's a first.
It's a first for Rick.
Rick's Tool Time.
Hello and welcome to Rick's Tool Time. This week is going to be a little bit different from previous times. Several weeks back, when demonstrating the continuity of a small mocked up circuit to showcase hidden test points on various Wago connectors, I may have mentioned that removing safety tips to access the test points would violate the guidelines in GS38. And it's true, it would. However, I may have swapped out the TIS 859 probes for another, and upon release of the tool time, well, here at eFIXX we have always described Mark from TIS as a gentle, kind and softly spoken individual. Nothing has changed. That statement still holds true. However, when he rang me from the warmth of his VIP box at Ellen Road while I was standing in the cold North Stand area, what he did mention to me was that we didn't need to switch out the test probes to access the test points on the Wago connectors, nor would I have to violate any safety guidelines. All I need to do is simply remove the threaded tips, reducing the tip diameter from 4mm to 2mm, and this will allow access into the test locations on the connectors. Upon receiving this information, I had to take a real deep look at myself in the mirror and say, you've got this. I'm confident and capable. Today's a new day and full of possibilities. I splashed my face and realised I need to right my wrongs. First, by creating this video, and secondly, which is most important, issuing myself with an eFIXX Historical Society sticker, stating that I was wrong to switch out that TIS 859 probes due to my negligence and lack of product knowledge. So here we have it. Apologies, Mark. I too now have a sticker that states I was wrong within the workshop, which is sitting above Gordon's. With the apology out of the way, let's recap on the continuity tests with the TIS 859. So here we have it. So just pop these back and we'll just check, make sure we're getting continuity between these. You can see, there we have it. But if we just take off this tip on the end, which isn't stated in the manual, or not that I can find anyways. We just remove them by unscrewing them, just pop them there for now. And if I clamp on to the end of here, if I just probe onto the 221 in there, we get the continuity sound on that one. Then if we just move across to the 221 inline here, we can probe on the top there, and again we get continuity. Moving across onto the 222 connector, the test position is here, and there we go, we get sound. Then we'll move across onto the 2273 connector, where the test point is just on the ends here. I'll see if I can get these in there without breaking this jig. Oh, there we go. Got continuity on that one. And let's say we want to test our heat link here. Let me just remove that lid and test on these connections. We're straight in there. So it then allows us to get into the smallest of spaces. So let me know, what do you think? Is it great or is it a gimmick? Get your votes in, but till then, I'll see you on the flip side. Ta-da. Apologise. It's not even in the manual.
Rick's Tool Time.
Wow, Mark was very brave to ring up Rick and tell him Rick had got something wrong, because Rick's got a bit of a deep past, I would suggest. So well done to Rick for taking one there for the team and actually apologising for his personal mistake, I would suggest. Nothing to do with us. We didn't help him with any of the footage for that. So that's brilliant.
You're the only team member who hasn't got a blue plaque.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm never going to get one, am I?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. No. If we had it every time I got something wrong, it'd be like dozens and dozens. Yeah. I think they wouldn't need a media wall. We just had Gary's sticker wall. So, unfortunately, for one of us in the team, and obviously not the fastest member of your team, because that's definitely you, the slowest member of your team is going to have to obviously summon down the tool from above, Gordon. Well, that does mean you're going to be on the
some votes in, Gary.
The buttons on there. So yeah, we've got to work out whether we think it is a great or a gimmick.
We're already on it. Regular viewers already know.
Yes.
Looks like it. People like that product.
He didn't know. I would suggest he wasn't wrong, was he? We weren't aware of it, was it? It was
No. TIS rang up and said, "Oh, do you realise you can do that?" So I dashed across to the workshop.
Instructions were out, were they?
Instructions out, and then found out. Oh, actually, you can. I was a bit nervous at first because I just thought.
But was it in the instructions, or was it just that you knew to spin it off because Mark told us?
Secret that you don't tell. The best product feature you don't tell me about. So.
But great though, because those we love the probes that it replaces. We don't need those probes for that tester. There'll be other testers out there where you don't get a 2mm diameter in probe, but you do on the TIS one. So we're going to in a minute. You're nice and early there, John, which is what I like. I'll be joining you in a minute. I can amble out of my seat to come over. So
Sit back down on my really comfortable chair again then.
It's nice.
My poor knees.
No, just stay there. Just stay there. Yeah, you'll be fine. Okay. So the lot.
It's because you move so slow, you have to get there sooner.
Oh, it's starting now.
Anyone else?
Oh, got a domestic kicking off now. I'm just going to test.
Oh,
veil over the scene.
I'll come and join you. I'll have a wander over, see how you're doing over there. Right, John. So we're going to have to summon the tool from above with the following call of, I'll do it to start with, just to warm you up. We're going to go, tool, and we're going to ask it to come down, much like that show back in the day. Yeah, back in the day. So here we go then, John. Arms in the air, let's get ready. And then we want to give it a tool. Oh, first time we've had a noise on show one. So we can say from that Louise didn't hear the instructions. We'll try again. And I bet it doesn't move this time. Ready? I bet it doesn't. Ready? What are the chances? What are the chances?
Here we
Now, you've got to
go.
really lean into this one. Come on. We're really going to lean into it. Come on. Imagine all your prides at stake. Imagine it's a race war moment for you. You're going to be trying to be the fastest one in your house. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Ready? Right.
There we go.
Take out the tool and the pad, and it'll be down to you to decide where it goes on the wall. We've obviously had our audience also vote for it. Now, the wall, because you haven't never watched us live on the telly, because we know that from all the things you didn't know we were going to do this evening. This is the tool wall, okay? And it goes all the way up to here, which is meant to be 11, which the coffee machine never is going to be 11. That's down there at 1. So bottom left-hand corner it's an absolute gimmick like the Makita coffee machine, even though you liked the microwave earlier on when we were talking.
Yes.
And as we go into the middle section here, we're talking your 6s, 7s and 8s really around here. And if you get up there, Spit's probably about as close as we've got to probably a 10.5. 11 would be in the top right-hand corner. You've got to vote for what effectively is a lovely voltage indicator with a hidden secret and where you believe it is on our tool wall.
We had a chat about this earlier on, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Was it a chat or were you told something by Louise? It's not called a chat.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
was
an
told.
instruction.
Yes. Yeah, we think that's a good 8.
Okay, good 8. So I would suggest you're probably up where the little screwdriver is, the stubby that we don't worry about that. Yeah. Same to you, Gordon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Struggle on the pronunciation of that one.
Fake ham. Fake 'em. Yeah, fake 'em.
Right.
That's going to be another algorithm moment we're going to struggle with. Okay, thank you very much. Take a seat, John. Okay, we'll try and ruin you a bit later on with something else. Right. No, good. But again, it's a shame that we didn't know about it because that's a great feature. Just being able to get into those Wago 221s and the 222s for testing. Obviously, we talked about being continuity, but that could be a voltage test, couldn't it?
Yeah.
And you still got the GS38 because the shield moves up and moves down again.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Darren Cranston, is GS38 a requirement for dead testing?
No, of course it isn't. You know, that used to be. I used to get college lecturers on that. So when we do some of our stuff, they'd be doing a test, and I'd walk in and they'd say, "What have the tips got to be?" And I'd be like, "They're doing a continuity test." I'm standing there watching it, and the lecturer's trying to get him to say he's got to comply with GS38. I was like, pull the lecturer to one side. It's a dead test. It doesn't need to. But I think what he was trying to illustrate there was that obviously the shields come down, don't they, for the live test element of that, and still can get into those lovely 221s. So fantastic.
The places. Yeah.
Really good. And thank you
the
very
Nest
much.
one in there. Do you do heating? Did you ever start with Nest and stuff like that?
Yes, yeah. We have a Nest.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's probably the best thing John Lewis ever did for Electricians to start selling the Nest, wasn't it? Because it's like you see it in the shop there, looking all innocent on the shelf. It looks, ooh, that looks nice. And you get it home, you get it out the box. Ooh, I'll take that. Right. And then you take the lid off the S-plan wiring system and you go, that's it. Like, put the cover slowly back on and thumb through yellow pages or get on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Absolutely nice.
It is, isn't it? I mean, we've been to some shocking new builds with the S-plan wirings, like
Yeah. It's an adventure
yeah.
in order to get into the.
One early this week as well.
Yeah.
But again, I'd just like to say what a fantastic Rick's Tool Time as well as Innovation Corner from Joe. So come on, Joe, let's join the show. So how are we doing over there? Oh, right, okay. Well, just got to be a bit nimble back there, mate. You've got to see the cues. How's things?
Yeah, good.
Who you got alongside you?
Yeah, this is the volume.
Good conversation. Okay. So obviously, brilliant Innovation Corner there from Joe. So every time, and again, the reel itself, it's gone out on Instagram, it's gone out on TikTok, it's gone out on YouTube, and obviously that printing machine, we give it a big thumbs up. Maybe one day that might make its way onto the tool wall. See where that one falls.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. If you're looking for one, it's definitely worth a gamble, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's. I don't want to say it's the best one we've tried for a long while, but it is. So yeah.
I think you could even use it.
Yeah,
Derek.
I know, absolutely.
That's always
It's
a
John proof.
Yeah. Now,
Sorry,
if John Lewis have done a great job for selling obviously the services of an electrician, I'd say like Yamaha with those surround sound boxes and things like that have probably done a great job for you.
Oh, definitely. Yes. No, we have competition. I wouldn't put Yamaha as competition, but we do have competition. However, we believe our sound is better than anything else on the market at the price point we sell our products for. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah. But I even got I'm not on about the sound quality.
Right.
I bought one. You buy one of those. You think you'll do a bit of surround sound at home, yeah. and I did it. And you buy the receiver, as it is. And you already know once you say the word receiver, your budget's gone up, Gary. You're already north of £500.
Oh, right, okay.
Without any speakers. This isn't down at Dixon's with your Shea show back in the day, and the big speakers. That's just for the electronics to do the sound processing. Yeah. And then you look on the back, there's a lot of connections, isn't there?
A lot.
There's a lot going on, isn't there? And it's like, yeah, and if you've got the 5.1 and then you've got the 7.1, then you've got to bring all those wires out the wall, and then you might have some networking connections, and then they'll throw in an aerial that you never use, and all that sort of stuff. It's a dream for you, that. They're selling your system all day long.
The benefits of wireless.
Yeah, so just for anyone who hasn't seen the Sonos system, it is a wireless system, isn't it?
It is a wireless system. We make 4 different families of products. So we make portable products, roam and move. We make what we call all-in-one products. So that's an Era 100, an Era 300.
Can we have a look at something? Yeah, so as we say that.
So we have Era 100.
Yeah.
We get that out of the box.
Which is our replacement for Sonos One.
Is that what you've got going?
Yes.
So this is one you're taking home with you? I've got Sonos One coming, I think.
And then this is the Era 300.
Okay.
So Era 300 is a spatial Dolby Atmos speaker. So it has
In normal English, what does that mean?
it has an upward firing speaker.
There, yes.
It has left and right firing speakers here.
Yes.
It has bass speakers coming out the bottom.
Okay, yep.
And then it has voice coming out of here. So it gives a complete Dolby Atmos bubble of sound.
Okay, that sounds
if
good.
you're using Amazon or Apple Spatial Audio. Then we come into architectural. Architectural, we make our port, which is a preamp. This is designed to bring things like vinyl into Sonos or Sonos into something else.
Okay. Oh, right, so there's more traditional kind of connections that I'm used to seeing. So my son's got a vinyl deck and he's got my old...
vinyl would go into there.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you can digital out into there. It's got a 12-volt trigger, so it can turn on an AVR if it's connected to an AVR.
Yeah.
Same wise, it's like a boat coming into port, offload or inload. And that's how you get Sonos into something or something into Sonos.
Okay.
It then has its big brother, which is the amp. An amp is a very powerful 125-watt amplifier, again, with all the connections on the back.
Some all look familiar to me, yeah.
So you've got your speaker buttons here. You've got an HDMI connection here for TV.
Okay, yeah.
You've got Ethernet buttons. You can connect a third-party amp, and again, you've got the digital in to connect a turntable or CD player or something. And then, of course, you've got your join button on the back there. No buttons on the front, but you have got touch controls on the front. So this can either sit next door to a turntable or can go into a rack.
Wow. Yeah, really nice.
And
I like this.
Where
one.
would you
I
put
really
the
like
300?
this.
Is that if you were doing a surround system, would you have?
So if you were doing a surround sound system, because we then do home theatre is Ray, Beam, and Arc, which you saw on the pictures earlier. And Arc is designed for 55-inch screen and bigger. Beam is 55-inch screen and smaller, and Ray is for the tiny little bedroom TVs or kitchen TVs. If you were using an Arc and you wanted to have rears, we'd recommend Era 300s. Because then you get a full Dolby Atmos surround sound. You can then add a couple of subwoofers to that as well. Now you're at the pinnacle of Sonos, so now you've got a full 7.24 surround sound system. But of course you can take one of the subs out, so then you have a 7.1.4 surround sound system. And then you can go down to Beam. Beam is also Dolby Atmos, but in a slightly different way. It doesn't have the upward firing speakers like an Arc does. And then you can combine any. So you could have an Arc with an amp and ceiling speakers. There's no limit to the combination. The only limit to Sonos is 32 players, 32 bits of kit. That's the maximum you can run at any one time.
And would some of this be covered in those webinars?
Yes, exactly that. So the first webinar, the first
That was like
webinar,
another language, that was. I might need to go to the basic one. Okay.
The first webinar takes you through the whole product range.
Yes, okay.
And for installers, we do start it at a different level. We leave all the portable stuff at the end because that's not an installer product, that's a retail product.
Yeah.
So we tend to start with the home theatre and architectural products. And we do put a lot of emphasis on the Era 300 and Arc combination because that's the one that really can generate income. When you've got an ARC, Era 300, subwoofers, an OLED or QLED TV, and then you're sort of in that 5 to 6 grand installed price point.
Okay.
And with a phenomenal surround sound system.
And again, I think we probably said it earlier on. I think you look at something and you think it's great, okay, and then you look at something slightly better. And I did it when I tried to buy a telly. There was loads of tellies in there, and I walked from 4,000 quid to 250 quid, and I couldn't tell the difference. Yeah, I couldn't, and I went and I didn't buy the bottom. Like anything, the bottom of the range one's there because that's the 40 pence toothbrush. You're always going to come back to that mid-range one and get sold into any of those.
So a lot of it's the connections.
But when you hear sound,
Yes.
and you hear average sound, and then you hear something that isn't average sound, and then you hear something that's really good sound, it's not like those TVs I were looking at where they all look the same. Sound is so important.
Completely. And with most modern smart TVs, they have the apps built in. They have the Netflixes and the Amazons and the Disneys and the Apple TVs all built in.
Yeah.
All the streaming services stream in Dolby Atmos, all of them. As long as your TV can pass that through, which most modern TVs can, then once you've connected a soundbar to that TV, that will then give you full Dolby Atmos playback. Sky not so good, but for the streaming stuff, that all streams it in Dolby Atmos. And a TV, when it's as thin as a pancake, is never going to sound good, ever. You have to add better sound to it.
Did you buy a soundbar, was he telling Gary?
I was trying to get convinced not to buy the one right down the other end. I was like, he tried to sell me in at the... Before that, I had a 25-year-old plasma. It didn't matter what I bought, it was a level up.
Cook an egg on that, though.
I mean, it's just I couldn't lift it. I couldn't carry it down the stairs, though. If I'd have dropped that, it would have killed me because it would have slid and crushed me at the bottom of the stairs. So I'm always 25 years behind everybody else. But when I've been in your lounge, I've heard your TV, and you just know it's incredible. Yes. Absolutely incredible. And it's not always the thing you think makes it incredible. So if you watch an average YouTube video with incredible sound, you forgive the picture. You watch a YouTube video with really good picture and incredibly poor sound, you don't forgive them and you move on. So please do not leave us. The sound's all right on this one. Okay. Yeah, sound decks.
We spent a lot of money on the sound.
£6,000 our sound deck was. Okay, for these streams only. But yeah, and again, I think if you've had it yourself, it's easy to sell to customers. And I like the incentive you give to that. If you've got something like this at home and you go into somewhere and say, I think you can transform your space, you do it brilliantly with social media. Not everyone does that social media, but I think this is a product that sells itself.
It is, and it's a product that many people have heard of but aren't really sure how to set it up or not really sure how it works. Whereas when installers come in, they can make sure that it's installed correctly. And that it's connected to really strong Wi-Fi. We are a Wi-Fi product. We need really good Wi-Fi. As the guys said earlier on, that should be really in the toolbox of every electrician. You can't rely on the cheap product that you get from your supplier to run Wi-Fi for your entire home with your smart doorbells, your smart heating controls, your Sonos system, your Sky Q, everything hanging off that little box that you got free is never going to come out well. So always make sure you've got a good Wi-Fi solution in your toolbox because that's what smart homes need, and we need that. We need really good Wi-Fi. This has Wi-Fi 6 in it, which means it has the strongest Wi-Fi you can possibly get in it, in any product. But even then, you still need to have a good connection to it. And it's making clients understand there's a difference between internet and Wi-Fi.
Okay. So this is what. So if you were close to an Wi-Fi access point, this thing's going to love it.
Oh, this at Wi-Fi 6, you could be 20 meters away from it.
Right. Okay.
From a Wi-Fi point, it'll work. When it's in a home theatre setup, it's the soundbar that connects to it.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's the soundbar that usually you've hardwired, but don't have to. The soundbar then connects to the internet.
You did that bit right, did you?
I did that
Cat
bit
5
right.
you've used.
But I've used Cat 5. Yeah.
It's going to fall over tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, it was great.
Are these
at the time.
backward compatible? If I was to put that with a soundbar,
Yes. We would suggest you need to upgrade your soundbar, but if you don't want to upgrade your soundbar, you could still use Era 100s. But then if you're happy with what you've got, if you're happy with what you've got, then you don't need to change it.
Yeah.
If you think that you can get better, which you can, then you could upgrade it.
Right, we're on a mission here, so we're going to try to convert Gary because clearly he bought his television and didn't go for any sound. So.
No, well, it's interesting because Gary talks about having a smart home because he has a little puck that you got off a
No, I've got the TV. I bought it was half price. I've got
all right,
the
you've
telly
got a
looking-
big puck that you bought off the internet.
Don't say Alexa.
And
Hey, Siri.
that Amazon product is not the best way you can get it. This product can do exactly what that product can do without the screen, because it has voice control. But what it does also have, it has the ability to turn off voice control. So if you have a client that doesn't want voice control,
Right.
you can turn it completely off.
Let's just take that. I've got my camera in, so just because that looks super simple. It's a bit of Gary, this is.
So that means I've got voice control. That means voice control is switched off.
Okay.
It has temporary switch off because it has a voice button here, which you tap and it will turn the light on or off.
Okay.
But if a client says, I don't want voice control, I don't want it.
What's the
then you
voice
can
command to
physically
start
do
the command?
so this is either Hey Sonos
Okay.
or Hey Amazon wake word.
Okay. So, hey Sonos, and then I just ask it to do stuff,
Yes.
yeah?
And the difference between Hey Sonos and Hey Google or Hey Amazon is that Sonos is not on the cloud. So when you ask this to do something, you're only talking to it. And it will then do whatever you want it to do. So it will find the music, can then share that music with another room. It can turn the volume up, it can turn the volume down, it can do many, many things, but it's not cloud-based. So if a client is a bit paranoid about voice control, which there are some clients who will be that, if they use Sonos voice, it's not cloud-based, it is secure. But if you don't want it, you can turn the voice control completely off.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Do you actually listen to music through those little pucks, do you?
That's all I do.
Yeah.
No,
What are
he
you meant
doesn't.
to use them for?
He listens to some muffled sound.
What are you meant to do with them then?
Well, that's just so that you can hear the speak. I wouldn't listen to music through one, would you?
So I'll use it for a couple of things.
Right.
So the first thing will be to listen to all my music through it. Okay. so that's the first thing I use it for. So I'm in the kitchen with the air fryer, obviously, checking me solar panels in the plant room that's next door to there. I will ask.
Basin and a toilet.
Basin and toilet been newly added in to make it a dual-purpose room. I will ask my thing, which is now a TV as well, which can't do anything. I haven't loaded Amazon onto it or anything TV, which you can do. Rick hasn't given me any tips on that. That's all I'll ask that to do. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's all that plays on there is music.
Wow.
And you believe that's a smart home?
No, I didn't. No, I definitely don't believe that's a smart home. That's as smart as... I'm never at home, am I? So I'm only home for a day and a half a week. So, that's...
Oh, well, that's it. The family can suffer.
And I use
suffer in silence, I think is what we said.
But again, the other beautiful thing is I can ask it to command the other people in the house that dinner's ready.
Yeah.
So you say, hey, to the announcement, make an announcement, and then I say dinner's ready.
Yeah.
And then there's a bell, ding, 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 ding. And then it tells
You
everyone.
live in a castle then?
Yeah, it's not far off. It's a little bit warmer than the castle. I always find it hard to...
I think you've got to do a trial. You might,
Yeah,
I
no.
think you should.
It might be a revolution.
Yeah, it could be. Could enter a new world.
Yeah, I know,
Actually being able to
again.
hear things.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, I've got an app I can show everybody it.
You got a little transistor radio in the bedroom by the side of the bed or
Up
something?
until 12 months ago. I've still kept it.
Okay.
It didn't work. So all it did was that the clock would only flash on it, and for some reason, I never got rid of it.
Was it like one of these ones with the flippers on it still?
No, digital. It's full numbers. But yeah, I'd never played the radio on it, and the clock flashed.
Right.
And I left it there. And it was only when the energy crisis came in, I unplugged it. I don't know why. Just sat there collecting dust. And it was really dusty as well. It had all these grooves in it. You couldn't get the dust out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know why. It's probably harbours back to, I don't know, yesteryear. I'll take it Leeds are winning as well from that. So that's good. Where would you like to go next, young man, as I'm reminiscing down...
Well, we can reminisce for you. It's an anniversary for Gary as well, isn't it? We've got a photograph, Gary, from your past.
Yeah.
It's Movember.
Yeah, so... Yeah, this is one of those ones, probably a little bit tougher than the picture. This is my wedding day, so I didn't grow a moustache for my wedding, which Gordon was pleased for. They were very good ones that stuck on. You only could wear them for a period of time, but they were brilliant moustaches. And that's my dad next to me there. Unfortunately, he's been gone 21 years today. So, yeah. And I'll come back, hang on. It's the first time I've ever shown a picture of him, so I've smuggled into all our other videos, like Nanny Bet, who got to 102, my kids and stuff like that. I've smuggled into eFIXX videos throughout the entire time I've been here as B-roll when I bought random stuff. And I think we had a cheeky boy lets down an inflatable castle, then we brought my son in as a young man. But no, my dad's missed a lot in the last 21 years, but I probably missed him more than he's missed, really. So, yeah, 21 years. Okay, move on. Yeah. So quite a tough one. Right, okay, keep people in the room though. Come on, keep staying with me. So yeah, so he's finally been in a video, so which is good, which was the idea of that one. But he was all into his tech. So if we play back to my dad was massively into photography. So when people were, you know, effectively with the Kodak films out, he had all special lenses and was into cameras. He was very early adopter of filmmaking. So you know, not that I got any of that off him. He was just really keen. He was one of the first people with the internet, and he was dabbling around with that and all the rest of it. He'd have got all this. He'd have had, you know, smart everything. He'd have had sound connected stuff. He really would. He embraced all the new technologies. Yet I didn't get any of those sort of generic elements from him. Really, I'm not saying I'm reluctant. I just, you know, when you're not at home, like Michelle said something about the putting something in the house. She said, if that falls over when you're away, I've got a week where I can't get it to work. Sky went wrong 2 weeks ago. Easy problem. Problem was my son had nicked the batteries for his game console, smuggled them back in and put them in wrong, so we didn't have Sky TV for a week. So,
Thank you.
oh, you can. Oh, you can start that.
Thank you.
Yeah. We only put the slowest burst on the race wall on it. How's that sound?
That was a hint there for on the emergency chair.
But no, he would have been all over this. Absolutely, he had his own dark room and did his own photography, black and white stuff as well as colour stuff. Did all kinds of crazy stuff like this. So he'd have been all over these things. A bit like you in that way. You know, I wouldn't say he was the first to adopt, but he'd be a fast follower. Is that what you call yourself with things? You tend to follow these trends.
Quite early. Well, yes and no. Smart. It's funny on smart home, isn't it? Because I was on stuff like the Nest. The Nest came in with great stuff and then suddenly stopped. It was the sort of thermostat.
Welcome to Google.
Basically, buy something good and stop it.
Something big's happening. Yeah. But now we've got Matter coming along, which I
Have we?
that excites
Is
you.
it still coming?
Well, no. So are you Matter? Does Matter worry you? Because is that like a?
No, I think it's the way it's going to go anyway, and it's something you can't stop. But I think it will just open more people's eyes because, like you said, it all started somewhere with the A and the G.
Yeah.
And you know, we've had clients that started with something like that, or they started with just one piece of Sonos, and it just goes on from there. So yeah.
Because that's the thing is, when people do start with Sonos, they just keep adding. Because they have it in one room and they think, oh, wait a minute, I want it in another room, I want it in another room, I want another room. We are a bit like that. But then that's why it's a good revenue stream. Because the phone call will come in, oh, I want something for my kitchen. Oh, right, I can help you with that. Bang, that's another sale. That's another reason to go back to that client's house. And we work with so many. We work with Rayco, we work with Lutron, we work with all sorts of different devices because that then starts to make the homes really smart.
Yeah, it's a step forward. And it's when you're over. Here we go. Ah, there we go. My wife put it on, so yeah, look at that. So she put it on. It's a bit late, as in we've had some problems here with the internet. That's why she couldn't get that on. So I asked her just to give me that one on the way through.
But Matter, is it? Well, I guess Matter. Is it what was I on Matter? Because I went all in on smart when I started. I went with a thermostat. I got the smoke alarm, which I thought is still the best smoke alarm out there, even though people say it's not BS, whatever.
Is it a camera as well?
It breaks the news to you gently that there's a fire.
Well, no,
That's what I like. It doesn't.
Normally when I'm on the train to London, so the first time my mother came to stay for a bit and she was looking after the house, and then I got an alert on my phone, smoke has been detected in the kitchen, so I just gave her a little call. I said, Mother, you're struggling with something? Well, I'm struggling with the controls on the oven. I thought as much.
Had a whiff. Had a whiff.
And I started with that, but then I went for a smart door lock, which I brought in from America. It was a Kivo product. I don't know if you saw the Kivo back in the day. It used the smartphone as a key. You touch it and it unlocked the door, but it wouldn't talk to anything else. That was the problem. And I did that because Joe's got more chance of losing. Back in the day, he had more chance of losing keys than smartphones. So
he's now added smartphones to his repertoire.
But then obviously that fell apart when he dropped his smartphone down a chemical toilet last year.
What about his car keys he lost inside a cave?
Yes, and then lost these keys in a cave in the Lake District and had to go and rescue with a spare set of keys. So it was gone.
Parenting.
Yeah, but at least with that sort of remote technology, you could send someone a key to another smartphone and stuff like that. And I thought it was quite good. But then just all this stuff seemed to stop. So now I'm hoping now it Matter's back on. You can buy all sorts of stuff that will
talk
together.
Yeah,
the best thing I got recently, is a box to remotely control a garage door opener.
Yeah.
It's a little Meros unit.
Yeah, yeah.
it's-
Have a client with, yeah.
It was like 20 quid.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Can't knock it.
And
Do
cheap.
you, do you not have a man to open your garage?
Well, Gary's down here sometimes, and then
I'm just thinking, how many people do we lose when Gordon's got his own electric gates that open up?
That's
to his
garage
winding
door.
down the drive,
Don't feel so sorry
the
for him.
rumbling of gravel.
Yeah, it sounds like a Bentley.
Simon stands there with a cold martini for him.
Yeah.
Like, toweling you
It's
off.
a normal garage door. It was in when I moved in, and it was.
Yeah.
But the smart thing was cheaper than a replacement remote control for it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
And it didn't
Works and
take.
it works.
It works, and with HomeKit you just scanned it, and I was on the network, and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I guess I could. I'm going to try this now because I'm going to try linking the Rayco to the Sonos.
Yes.
And can I get instructions put back because at the minute I get an alert if the garage door's been opened.
Yeah. That will then come through that.
Yeah.
As long as you've got the voice control working on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. That's
And then if you have a smart doorbell, the big smart doorbell, the smart doorbell that everybody's heard of,
Yeah.
if you add that to your app, your Amazon app, and you add Sonos to your Amazon app, then that Ring doorbell comes out of your Sonos speaker as well.
right.
Oh, okay. Talking of smart things, have you got a smart meter?
No, not yet. No. So
You won that case, but not the smart meter.
yeah, it's still ongoing.
So how long would we say it's been ongoing? It's been a while we've been talking about your smart... We had to leave the Tesla stories behind when you moved on from your Tesla.
Yeah.
But obviously this smart meter thing's been rumbling on longer.
Well, I
than
think
that.
on the 29th of December,
Yeah.
we're going to celebrate 3 years
of not having a smart meter.
of not having a smart meter.
Wow. And have they paid up their monies and dues?
Obviously, as people know, put the smart meter in. I took them to the Ombudsman eventually after a year of them not doing anything. I won that case, in which case they ignored it. And then in the summer, I took a well-known energy supplier with a cute, cuddly animal as a logo to court. And they paid out of court for the money I would have saved with a smart meter.
So you got some cash?
I got the cash.
But
That's
no
in the
meter.
bank. Yeah, and apparently they're going to make an appointment for someone to come out with a pre-programmed smart meter that works in economy 7. Yeah. However, that was 2 months ago. So it's going to keep on going. And I haven't said.
Let's not worry about
I haven't said we've got a YouTube channel yet, so I'm just
wow.
living the dream at the minute.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've said, since we started this, our subscriber count's gone up by over 450,000 people.
Yeah,
So
we
it's just going to get.
occasionally mention the lack of...
Yeah, so we will do a video on it when I've done, because it's actually I actually found out, because I asked Ofgem as well how many people are in this situation. There's 2 million people have smart meters that aren't smart.
Wow.
So and the problem is now, if we're going solar and all this smart stuff, you can't access
Joe tariffs.
the energy tariffs. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not good, is it? Right, okay.
With my pain.
Yeah, single-handedly, he helped out 2 million people. Can you imagine it? Yeah.
Well, it's shocking, really. It's shocking. It's
Well, it's shocking service you've had.
every time that Einstein comes on the television, tell me that is smart meter.
You want to punch the TV?
And now
It comes through in cracking sound, though, off his sound. Can't help but hear him, can you? Fantastic.
But now on the radio,
Gone?
there's an advert for a well-known energy supplier with a cute, cuddly sort of 8-legged device as its logo, telling you how great the customer service is.
Oh, wow.
This is the sound of real customers. I'm like, wow, if I could get through on the phone, I'll give you the sound of a real customer. But it's like, yeah.
Oh, dear.
But anyway, smart meter's gone on. But speaking of EVs, actually, as well, we've got a little segment here, because I had a little trip down to the EV show in London yesterday. And it's a show that's been under the radar for a few people, so I thought just drop in, because everyone likes fully charged. But let's have a look at that, Joe. I'm just back from the EV show in London. It's a show that operates under the radar compared to its flashier rivals, such as Fully Charged. It caters specifically to organisations looking to adopt electric vehicle fleets and needing suppliers and charging strategy. The show covers all aspects of infrastructure, including civil works, power distribution, AC and high power DC chargers, along with software platforms for charger management. If you missed this year's show, here's what caught my eye. Among the many AC chargers on display, one that stood out was the Inchcore designed by Landis & Gyr. You might recognise them as one of the largest manufacturers of electricity meters, so it's interesting to see them expanding into this market. The charger features a modular design allowing interchangeable controls, including ones for BMS systems. It also offers a unique feature where the charging socket can be replaced or converted into a tethered charger. Since sockets are prone to damage from heavy use or careless parking, it's a great solution. When it comes to larger installations, power distribution becomes a big deal. Luden has entered this space with an extensive range of feeder pillars. As we can expect from Luden, they offer flexibility to meet the requirements of almost any project. They also showcase their new coloured Henley blocks, which we previously featured on eFIXX TV. This demonstrates Luden's capability to cater for almost any size of EV charger installation. If you install EV chargers in covered car parks, a bus bar based wiring system can significantly save time and allow for the easy addition of more chargers. We've previously explored this type of system with the Wurtz cabling system, but now Wieland Electric has also offering a similar system, but with the advantage of plug-in connectors to the tap-off box. The bus bar cable is available from our friends at Doncaster Cables. I ran into a bit of trouble last week when I posted a picture on LinkedIn intended to discuss the importance of future-proofing EV charger installations. Unfortunately, many people got distracted by the PPE situation. This issue could have been avoided using NAL's system, which eliminates the need for shuttering and is compatible with feeder pillars and larger DC fast charger. The system features a mounting plate that's easy to remove and upgrade. A way to think of it, it's like a larger version of the well-established EV block system that provides a quick and easy way to install and upgrade smaller chargers. Tic Tacs, of course, are always included. Let's talk about an innovation I initially described as a jerry can for electric vans. It's a 54 kilowatt battery by Tooooooool. That is a range extender for electric vans. However, it offers more than that. The battery can be charged using an EV charger and a Type 2 socket, but you'll also notice a 16 amp plug for the power takeoff. This makes it an excellent alternative to diesel generators, especially for electricians who need to complete jobs for clients who are working from home and can't afford to lose the Wi-Fi connection. Speaking of vans, there's a super compact van for electricians inspired by Postman Pat. It's perfect for electricians working in cities who are under 5 feet tall. Lastly, on display is the new Guardian whole building pen fault monitoring solution from Matty. This clever device monitors the incoming supply and is coupled with a cloud platform that alerts facilities managers to potential issues. It can also trigger contactors to disconnect the whole installation or just critical equipment. And that's what caught my eye during a quick tour of the show this year. I had intended to include more, including the latest version of this, the CTEC charger. The version 3 is just about to come out, but I didn't get time to revisit all of the stands as I got sidetracked by running into members of the eFIXX community, including the team from MERS and fellow YouTuber Mike from Mike's Electric Stuff. He's currently on the lookout for an old DC charger to dismantle on his channel, so happy hunting to Mike. If you attended the show and discovered any innovations that I may have missed, or you would like to share more information about the ones we have featured, let me know in the comments.
Great to see Mike there as well. He's dismantling old things. I wondered whether he was going to pull one or two of your limbs off and have a look at you inside of you there, Gordon. Okay, so it looked good. Looked a good show.
It was an interesting, yeah. It was, yeah. I mean, EV charging's still booming, but that's more commercial people, car parks, and yeah. If you're running the vans for Royal Mail or something, and you want to find a depot charger, that's where you go.
But it brings to focus again that internet connectivity within the house. Once you've again got something relying on the internet, okay, your EV charger, it's another thing put on your Wi-Fi, another thing putting it under strain. And how you said at the very start of this, a robust wired internet connection into every single location is the first port of any smart home. And I think it just iterates there again how much stuff is going to be crammed all over that internet.
Yeah, and interesting, that first charger there is the only one I've ever seen you can connect to a dedicated BMS system.
Right, okay.
Which is a step in that most of them have got their own stuff actually being able to, you could probably bring that into a smart home now. Actually, that's the first time I've seen that.
And I really love the jerry can in the van scenario.
Find out the price of that, because you want one, don't you, now?
Yes. Yeah, so it's carrying a bit of extra charge for your vehicle, but I love the way it charged off the socketed, same as the car or van would, in order to plug it into charge.
Yeah.
Might be a bit tricky though. No one's mentioned the sliding door and lead though for that. Maybe there's a solution.
The leads, I did find one for you, Gary. I found the charge gully as well. So
right, okay.
So this was.
Oh, is this my solution?
Yeah, this is obviously because your garage is miles away from your house.
Yes.
And you want to park close to your house.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the second bit of the charge gully. So here's a one for people always worry about terraced houses and things like that in the middle of the city. So
I'd like to say townhouses for anyone listening on the telly. Yeah, okay, my terraced house, yeah, okay.
Put that across your pavement,
yeah,
and then you can charge your car.
And I can hear everyone.
Local authority will allow you to do that.
I can
They're
hear
trialling it. They're trialling it at the moment.
You can hear everyone saying it, can you? Trip hazard. There's pain, there's claim, and all the rest of it. We need a solution. This is an obvious solution, and it's something that we've got to get used to seeing. Well, we see those little round covers, don't we, for our water stop taps. How many times we've gone down a road and they're either upside down or broken or wobbling. But that's a reality of us having to have this kit. Yep. And these gullies, for those people that are, and I wouldn't suggest everyone's in this position where they're energy poor, but if you live in a certain type of house, maybe that hasn't got off-road parking, that's because that's the house that your budget suits. Now, if you're in the 5th floor of a London swanky flat, obviously that's where you actually live. It's not a flat in London like you probably would have thought of back in the Mandela Towers days, but that's the reality.
Apartments, Gary.
Yeah, I know they are. Well, mine's a townhouse and not a terrace house. But effectively, I've got a terrace house. If I can get outside my property, great. But no way of charging on a tariff that I'm in control of. We can go out and maybe some of the large infrastructure you looked at, you can go there, but you're locked into their price until the system allows you to transfer your energy price to there and somehow tap into a cheaper one. You've got to be able to charge from home. And that is a solution. I know people what they're going to say and trip hazards and all the rest of it, but that's a solution for those type of people.
They're trialling it with the council is the answer. That's what they're doing at the moment. And
I think Bedfordshire was one of the ones chosen for one of the trials. I'm not sure it was the overhead hanging system. The arm with the overhead one?
Yeah, I think that's a bit daft.
Yeah, I prefer the gully. But it depends which one they get in. Lots of people like VHS and Betamax beat it to it, and they won in the end, didn't they? It's like one of them, yeah. So
I think having a socket hanging on a thing about
but again, it's like your energy. It's like the person that we know somebody who's got battery and solar in their downstairs plant room with a toilet and basin in it, and everybody says, don't they? Why is it my wife wouldn't allow me to put it into there?
Yeah.
That is the best room in our house because there's no garage as an option. We've got a kitchen and a second sort of gaming room area. Then our lounge is on the first floor. That is by far the best place for it to go, and it doesn't bother anyone in our house because it's where we use the toilet. That is not a room of any splendidness in our house, especially after my son's been in there. Okay. and just talking, if we're going to do the emotional one, my son's 18 on Friday, so I get that moment.
Son.
So he's going to be 18. He also went to look at his first university today with his mum. So hopefully later on I'll get a phone call and see how that went as well. So it's
which one?
Which mum? The only one who's got.
Geographically, where were they?
It was down at Wembley. So Wembley itself offer a course, a degree-based course, and you're actually based inside Wembley Stadium for all your lessons. So they found another way of taking money off people, is what we can suggest. So by using that. So he's gone around and looking at that today. So I'm looking forward to some feedback from that. So actually exciting times. Talking of exciting times, I believe you two don't have any children. Is that true?
That's true.
Yeah, but you've taken on somebody who could be suggested maybe...
Somebody else's child.
Yeah, somebody else's child. They keep saying that child might look like yours. So I think we'll go over and just have a quick hello. So I'm going to come around the telly, and as we come through here... OK, turn on your mic. All right. Lauren, you're not the daughter of these two, are you? And after seeing the time your future dad might have put up there, you're glad to be disassociated with him, yeah? OK, so next time you go into somewhere and they ask you, are these your parents? You say, my dad can do sockets quicker than this electrician. So you want to be saying for that one. So just give us a little bit of an overview of how you come to work for Louise then.
So my actual dad actually does know Louise and John. He's a carpenter. They sometimes work on site together. About 4 years ago, I'd left school, sort of wanted to get a bit of work experience, so Dad got me in contact with Louise and John. Worked with them for about 6 months. Went off and I explored a few other different career paths. Get back to January this year, Dad was on site with Louise and John, and I was unhappy in the job that I was in. Yeah, since then, been back with them.
And just remind me of your age, because everyone will not believe me. How old are you?
I'm 22.
You are 22, and we've got the full story of what's happened with your journey up until getting employed here. And that's going to come out on a video that we're going to try and shoot on Tuesday when I go back to Warrington Vale Royal, or Royal Vale, I never which way around it is. And I'm being joined by the wonderful Christopher Horn's going to join me.
On tonight as well.
Yeah, so Chris Horn's on there. Some special thoughts and mention to the guy that he works with, him, Steve. Steve's an amazing bloke. He runs an amazing team down there, and at the minute he's just having a little bit of a tough time. So I'd just like to say all the best and good luck to Steve. And we are thinking of you at the moment as well, mate. And I'll keep asking Chris how he's getting on. So yeah, he's an incredible bloke, and he keeps that team in incredible shape. He's the reason they're as good as they are as well. So I know we see a lot of Chris, but Steve's an amazing bloke. So yeah, hats off to him as well. So yeah, so Lauren's story will come out inside of that video there. Well, hopefully we catch up with the great staff down at Warrington Vale, Warrington Royal Vale College, yeah. So that's good. So that's next week.
Next week.
Tuesday, I think I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so exciting times.
That's good. We'll have a good day on Tuesday because Gary's out.
Yeah. That'll be one of them until you have brunch again and let me know. Oh, we're having brunch today. Pancakes and bacon, Gary. I'm tracking my. They're just like, he's not in. Fish and chips on a Tuesday and things like that. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it gets boring after a while. So again, just to remind me, I want to get involved. I want to become an installer of Sonos stuff. I come through the website to...
So you can either come through the website and find the installation page on our website, or alternatively, the quickest way of doing this is reach out to All Trade, who have depots all over the United Kingdom. Get your account open with All Trade. Tell them you want to access Sonos. They'll sort out all the paperwork for you. That will trigger a DocuSign into your inbox.
Okay.
You don't have to wait for that to happen. You can buy Sonos straight out of the bag from that distributor, and then eventually you'll sign it. That means you're authorised. That means you get onto our database, which means we can then start communicating with you with all our training, webinars, etc., etc., etc.
Questions. We had any great questions come through, Gordon?
Well, that was one of them. How do you access the webinars?
Okay,
that was the first one. That was the one there. I think we need to do a trial. I think you need to do a trial, Gary.
I'll quite happily take some of this free delicious-looking kit to try at home, along with my delicious solar. Yeah, I can do that. So that's not a problem.
Yeah, hold on, I'll flick through. You keep going.
I think, John, did you purchase that air fryer this evening? You were tempted. You went and found out whether it was the same one as me. Keep looking at the questions, Gordon. You're not looking at the questions. You're looking at John and the air fryer now. Stop doing that. Did you purchase? Did you hit the buy now button, or are you still teetering on the edge of an air fryer?
I've put a request in.
Oh, right, okay.
To the purchasing department.
Okay.
I'm waiting to hear back, but I'm hopeful.
Okay. Is your the job? Does it come with benefits? Obviously, the job you're currently working with.
Not that I've noticed so far.
Oh, right, okay. It's a job without benefits. Okay, all right, okay. And let me just think now. So, when you put a holiday request form in at work, do you have to make sure that the boss
has received it?
Well, but can you go on holiday at the same time as your boss, or does she demand that you go on holiday at a different time than her, because obviously the business won't run if both key members of the team are out?
I'm allowed to go on holiday at the same time, but I must walk 2 steps behind her.
Right, okay. How is it employing the other Genuinely, why he's looking for the questions? Is there, because it is your business, yeah, it's your name above the door. Yeah, we're not going to give him any credit. He's the slowest electrician that's ever been married to a faster one. Okay, so if there's a moment at home, does it go to work, or can you sort of segregate that when you get in the van? So maybe you're halfway between losing a conversation at home. Can you jump in the van and win it back? And now we're at work. It's like you park it.
Generally, we kind of say that I'm the boss 9 to 5 and John's the boss 5 till 9. So
you're asleep
I'm not allowed to be in charge of the TV remote control.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm the boss at work and John's the boss at home. Works better that way, I think. And
you are a great team. You are a great team at the end of the day.
Has its moments.
It has its moments. No, yeah.
Play to your strengths.
So how's it going to feel now with Lauren in? Because now we've got a confidant for one of you when the other one's having a moment, haven't you? Okay. So all of a sudden now this could be a key position for Lauren to take on, couldn't it?
Lauren
in between
does not sit on the fence.
No,
she is.
Would she be biding towards the female aspect of the business?
Funnily enough, Gary, she is.
Yeah, she's also the boss, though. I can see why you would do that, wouldn't you? At my side with one of the key workers, you can be gotten rid of. She's thinking if we're halving the workforce, you got on, John.
Ways of breaking it.
yeah. We're slimming down the workforce, Lauren.
Slimming down, yeah.
Goodbye. So, and we'll see in a couple of weeks' time how quick Lauren is. Maybe that'll be the deciding factor. If she's under 5 minutes, maybe maybe it's time to say goodbye. That's good. Again, apprenticeship-wise, have you decided to go for the straight one, or are you going for the domestic one? Because the domestic one's got a lot of smart stroke renewables in it. Have you gone for the traditional apprenticeship with a straight AM2S at the end?
Yes.
You have. Yeah, I asked about AM2S. I just wanted to know that you knew that you'd sent it that way as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good. And that's a journey hopefully we'll be involved in on those 4 years. We've already offered some of the members of staff up here to help her on that journey as well. So a few key pieces of advice earlier on as well. We'll see if they've been followed.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some interesting ones, yeah. So there's quite a few of the viewers have already got Sonos, including Richard Harvey, who was on last time. He said he spent a substantial amount on it, Gary. So,
Yeah, I'm not planning on doing that bit.
more than you spent on your telly, and obviously, so it's Darren Cranis has Sonos in his office.
Oh, wow.
And has people on Zoom calls come through it.
Oh, but that's
That's clever.
Yeah. So I'll just next time I'm on one of those ECA technical meetings, I'm gonna first I'll see if he's got Alexa switched on it, and then
then we'll work our way out from there.
So that's quite good. I wouldn't have thought of. Yeah, it's an interesting application actually. Sonos.
It is. Well, it's an interesting one, and it depends how he's done it, because inherently in our system we have a delay. So anything that has voice control, but if he's running the Zoom via a TV that has got an HDMI connected to it, then that'll work. But if not, there will be a lip sync issue.
Right. I don't think Darren speaks a lot in those meetings anyway, so I don't would ever notice these. He just allegedly. Anyway, I'll see him face to face next week. I'll compare and see if there's a lip sync issue.
No, you'll look over the top of him. You won't see him face to face. You'll completely miss him, Gordon. You'll probably bump into him.
Yeah, that was it. So I think sound is something we should do more of actually, because I think there's definitely been a learning for us. I think Sonos systems moved on even since the last.
It has done. We can continually develop our product. And what I would say to any electricians watching in, when you sign up with the distributor, say you saw it on eFIXX, so we know, and then maybe I'll do something for you behind the scenes. But just make sure you let the distributor know how you heard about Sonos and why you want to be a Sonos installer.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, it's almost the bombshell to end on, I would suggest. But we couldn't bring this to you every 2 weeks here on Facebook and on YouTube without the great support of our headline sponsors, the Lasico Group, who bring us things such as Lasico Lighting and Sync EV. As well as that, we've got the Luden Palazzoli that have our consumer unit and some great products we've seen today as they're delving into the world of those chambers that are going to hold all those aggregates and stuff for the industrial EV chargers. Okay, they're everywhere, our Luden Palazzoli. And of course, to bring all of it together, you're going to need a cable, so why not choose the best one on the market in the form of Doncaster cable. They bring us things such as PV and EV Ultra, and I was the first person in the UK to have a piece of PV Ultra installed on camera. So how fantastic that was for me when I had my own solar installed. I know I mentioned it this evening. I've also got an air fryer and I could show you the app. But I don't think we've got time for that. I think it's time now for the register. And I don't know who's doing it. So whether we're going over to Joe by the looks of things, Joe's on the register. Let's see who's been in tonight then, Joe.
Hello everyone, yes it is time for the register. I've been scouring the comments and there were a few people that tried to catch me out, but I've triple checked, Jenny's been checking as well, so hopefully that's not going to happen, so we'll get straight to it.
I have a big one, he's in first, is he?
We've got Sockets, we've got Early Years Learning is Fun, Sean Dempsey, Intrude Serve, Darren Cranis, Short Circuit, Bobcat, Ollie, Chris Horn, Smart Spark, Gifford Electrical, Ren Skylark, Lee Metcalf, Doc Store, Richard Gorn, he'd kill me if I missed him out this week, Stephen Skillen, Alan Chan, Rusco Customs, Tahir Dad, Dr. Electric, SSC, Troy Boy, Marcus Sparky, Sergio Fernandez, Terry Moore, Billy Torrey, X-Forces Electrician, Gadget Man, Richard Turpin, ESD Lee again, Jenny. Oh wait, no, it's not been yet. My bad. Kevin Osborne and Roger Brookfield. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
There's always more than we say. We always apologise. People always come back to us and say, "Oh, I never got a shout. I never got a shout." That's not. We understand that's not everybody that's been on this evening. But
someone's had you a Richard Turpin there.
Yeah. Short and Richard. Yeah, Short and Richard, and you get it. Yeah, okay. All right, brilliant. So again, fantastic. You're not here in 2 weeks. You're going off to be with Darren Cranis. So I've got a guest presenter, haven't I?
Yeah, I think Joe Hammond's coming up.
Yeah, so that should be good. You haven't seen one of his videos that he's produced this week, but the door your scene is quite remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And hopefully that video will be released and we can delve into the picture that I sent me as well. And we can ask
Once you've seen it, it can't be unseen.
That's what
I'll
he
just
said.
say
That
the
was his
dude looks
message.
like a lady.
yeah, it's a classic, and it is great pleasure. I think he's coming up to 2 months with us now. So anyone who's seen the content he's producing, not only is technically brilliant, but obviously he's also amazingly entertaining with it. So make sure, if nothing else, you always hunt out the videos that Joe's doing, because he adds a comic element to every single one he's done so far, and he makes us laugh as well. So that's coming up. So that's in 2 weeks' time, and we're not sure who's guests in 2 weeks. It's a mystery to me at the moment who our guests are. So again, we'll definitely be having Lauren on the race wall. So we'll carry on this conversation in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully you'll tune in. Having never watched it before but been on it, you've got that as an accolade, haven't you, John? Never watched the show, but I've been on it. So so hopefully you'll tune in 2 weeks' time, and then maybe Lauren will be in the comments as well. You're cheering on your own time, because I don't think she knows her own time either. So with that in mind, we'd like to thank everybody on here. We'd like to thank Louise. We'd like to thank John. Well, maybe not quite so much John. And we'd like to thank Stephen for obviously another fantastic show. And again, get involved, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. So roll those credits. Cheers, G-Dog.